Hi, everyone. This is True Crime Wifey. Thanks for joining. So, I've attempted to do this 3 different times. I accidentally deleted a live stream and then continued to talk into my StreamYard as if I was still presenting something, which is crazy. And then I reset it and redid it and have been sitting here for over 20 minutes and then realized that I never clicked go live. So, yes, here's my tech challenged situation. Okay. This is my theory. I'm trying to see if I'm live. I can't even tell if I'm live. Ugh. Hang on. All right. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's okay. I'm going to talk to you guys about my theory. I do believe that I know. Hi. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Allison. You guys, thanks for joining. Okay, this is like my third or fourth attempt on going live. I deleted my live stream in the middle of it, and then I just, redid it for 20 minutes and realized that I hadn't even clicked go live on StreamYard. So here we go. I'm a little bit of a hot mess. And I think my one lapel mic is probably tired, so I'm going to switch out real quick. All right. I'm hoping you can still hear me. Oh, no. It's not working. Oh, yes, it is. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh. It probably, this is probably, a higher power telling me don't try to go live when Roberta's live. I saw that she was live, but usually she's live for, an hour or so, but I guess she went for a really long time tonight. Okay. This is my theory on how TPD found Wendi. I did hear from a very credible source. I'm not going to tell you who my source has been. I'm not pulling a TJ on everyone about a source saying something, but I do believe that this is how they found Wendi. I'm going to discuss after I do this little presentation. And we're also going to watch Officer Bill Brannon's testimony. Probably will speed it up. I think that he testified for about 30 minutes in previous trials. Oh, that's good. I hope Jibs comes. Jibs has been telling me to do this for 11 months because when I went back to my notes and I see my notes are from, this is ridiculous, but yeah, my notes are from September 18th, 2024 on this theory. Okay. This is a map of Interstate 10 running through the city of Tallahassee. And this is coming from the Department of Transportation, Florida Department of Transportation's monthly newsletter. This particular newsletter is dated May of 2009. But in this newsletter, this is just a map from the newsletter, but in this newsletter, it talks about on January 13th and 14th in 2009, the city of Tallahassee implemented license plate reader program throughout the city of Tallahassee along Interstate 10 to include 5 locations and 16 cameras at those locations. The cameras are located at exits 192 eastbound, 196 east and westbound. Oh, and let me go back for a second. Exit 192, that is Capitol Circle Northwest. No, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Exit 192 is, okay, I'm going to go down. 192 is US 90 West. Exit 196, that's Capitol Circle Northwest. And there's, in fact, a rest area between these two exits. And then exit 199 is North Monroe Street, also known as US 27. And we all know about North Monroe Street from this case. Okay. Exit 203, it says 202.7, but it's actually, marked as 203 off the interstate is Thomasville Road. And this is the particular license plate readers that we're going to be discussing. But the fifth location was exit 209, which is considered US 90 East in Tallahassee. So 16 cameras in those 5 locations. But in addition to that, there was approved funding for the next 5 to 7 years to implement and install license plate readers all across the city. SunGuide software is the license plate readers that the city of Tallahassee uses, as well as the state of Florida. Hi, John Smith. Thanks for joining. Okay, so after Dan was shot on July 18th of 2014, right, the police arrive at the home. They have the address, it's 2116. It would have taken them less than a minute or two to find out from the property appraiser that Wendi Adelson was either still on the deed or had been on the deed. I don't know exactly if they had transferred it. I suppose I could look that up. But oh no, after the after the interview with the Elizabeth Schmidt lady, it's like I am not clicking on people's houses anymore on the property appraiser, because apparently once you click on the map, it tracks. I guess you can search all you want, but once you click on a map, they know that you're looking at a house. And she had been, nosy looking at Dan's house and how much he paid for it. But my point is it would have taken just a minute or two for them to look on the property appraiser. There's a history of ownership on the property appraiser. So if it still wasn't in Wendy's name and Dan's name, the Trescott home, they could have just looked right underneath and they would have seen that it said Daniel Markel and Wendi Adelson, right? So a BOLO and a be on the lookout so the property appraiser, they would have gotten Wendi Adelson's name. And then they would have looked into David. David is DAVID, and it's pretty much the system. I don't know if they just use it in Florida. Sorry, but it's the system that tells anyone who has access to it, and law enforcement definitely does, that tells you all you need to know about DMV records, like Department of Motor Vehicle records, your license plates, how many you have registered to you, right? Like your 2 or 3 different cars, your boat, your trailers, etc., your motorcycle, whatever you have. And then also it would have given, it also contains driver's license information. And there's also pictures. So they would have had Wendy's name pretty much right away from the location of the home. They would have looked into David. They would have seen what vehicle she drives, and then also would have been given a license plate number. They would have probably put that into the Sun Guide system when they implemented their BOLO and their all points bulletin in regards to trying to find Wendi. It might not have happened within the first few minutes of them on scene because it was all like medical and getting Dan help. We also know that it took the ambulance, I think it's 19 minutes to get to the scene, which was horrific. But at some point in time, probably before 11:30, maybe before noon, they would have known all of that information about Wendi. And hi, trying to find a cure. Good to see you. Happy 24/7. Hi, welcome. Hi, YB. Hi, Max. Thank you all for joining me. This is my third attempt to go live. I've deleted a live during my stream. I set up a new stream, forgot to click, go live in StreamYard. So this is, my third attempt. It's kind of a little nutty right now. Okay. Oh, so I don't want to get, now I'm like not remembering if I said all of this like in my previous attempts or now, but okay. So in addition to the 16 cameras and the 5 locations off of Interstate 10, right? There's 16 cameras at these 5 locations. They face all which way. I mean, I've seen them. They're pretty cool. The ones that are on the street are a lot larger than the ones that are on cars. The ones that are on cars are about the size of a silver dollar, and they're black. And I've seen them on the sides of the FHP cars, like if I've been sitting next to them at a red light or whatnot. So in addition to these 16 cameras, there was funding approved for the next 5 to 7 years to implement license plate readers all over the place. And by the time 2014 rolls around, that's 5+ years later, from January 13th and 14th of 2009, when they first set up the license plate readers. That's 5.5 years later. They would have had them all over the place. 1, 2, they were also going to go on the vehicles of 7 separate law enforcement agencies in Tallahassee. Oh, and remember, we know from, is it Charlie's like jail calls or wiretaps where he talks about like, there's 9 law enforcement agencies in Tallahassee. Yeah, there are. Yeah. There is. So I'm going to tell you the 7 that got the license plate readers on their cars. Tallahassee Police Department, Florida Highway Patrol, the troopers, Florida Wildlife Commission, the Florida Department, like DBPR, like Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulations, Florida State University Parking Enforcement, and FAMU, which is the Florida Atlantic and Mechanical University, located just south of FSU, their parking enforcement as well. And I'm going to tell you this, which is kind of cool. FSU and FAMU, or I'm sorry, any university parking enforcement, you guys, they bank. They make a lot of money for the school. I mean, even when I was in college, I remember having a couple of parking tickets. And I only had a vehicle for like 1 year in college. Just saying. So license plate readers were attached to the cars of those 7 agencies. The license plate number for Wendi's dark red 2006 Honda Odyssey minivan would have been put into Sun Guide SunGuide is the license plate reader software that the state of Florida uses. And troopers, TPD, LCSO, Leon County Sheriff's Office, they would have been driving around looking to locate this person, Wendi Adelson. And I think I accidentally called her Wendi Jail Adelson the other day, so that was kind of funny. So I did get told by somebody, but because I can't prove it, I probably shouldn't say it. But I do believe, because this makes the most sense, this would have been, it would have been a Florida Highway Patrol car that found her minivan via license plate reader in the Market Square shopping center. Oh, and Market Square Liquors is right there, and she could have gotten some bullet bourbon from there. It's one of the best, liquor stores. That's neither here nor there. We all know that there were 3 different liquor stores that were closer to her home on Aqua Ridge instead of her going all the way across town to, back then in 2014. Okay, you see the ABC liquor store now. I think Patty did a video on it. Patty's Playhouse. She did a video on it. That's like totally renovated and jazzed all up. Back in 2014, that ABC liquor store that was near Benton Hills Road, like right near, where Wendi used to live on Trescott, that was like the crappy liquor store, you guys. It was not a place where you wanted to go into. Trust me. Just saying. There were 3 better ones, newer ones, recently renovated or recently built and much larger, where she could have gotten her bullet bourbon. So when FHP or whatever law enforcement agency actually located Wendi's car or Wendi's minivan outside of Mozaik Restaurant in the Market Square Plaza, shopping plaza. It's very large. It's very nice as well. They would have immediately called, right, TPD. ISOM was of course, ISOM is the detective on call, meaning on call he was taking a new, homicide case that came in. It kind of goes in a rotation. If you've ever been an investigator or you've ever been in any type of response type situation where you respond to things, there's kind of like an on-call rotation schedule. So ISOM was next up, right? They didn't just select ISOM to be the detective. He was probably next up. He's like, oh, okay, well, gonna miss dinner tonight with the fam. So they would have immediately contacted TPD, spoken to ISOM, and he would have gone and driven over to Market Square when they located Wendi. Prior to locating Wendi, of course, they first locate her minivan in the parking lot. But prior to them locating her personally or her physically, there would have been not only marked cars, but also unmarked cars that would have been cruising, right? Cruising, maybe even like, civilian clothed detectives or law enforcement going into the different shopping stores or the restaurants looking for someone who fit her description. ISOM would have been notified and said, hello, we've located this particular person, Wendi Jill Adelson at Mozaik. She appears as she does in her driver's license photo. And we have her here. And ISOM is the one who actually approaches her. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking for 1 minute and talk to the chat. Yeah, I'm so sorry, you guys. I made big, boo boos, if you will, like trying to go live tonight. It's all right. There's a plan. So okay, so before we watch, Officer Bill. Wait, did I? Oh, sorry. I also need to finish the story. Right, Isom would have gone, and remember, he approached Wendi at Mozaik and brought Wendi back to the TPD station, to the Tallahassee Police Department station. A uniformed officer would have waited for the contracted tow company to come and get Wendi's minivan in the parking lot of Market Square. And between, Dan was shot, well, I believe specifically that Dan was shot at 10:53 a.m. because based on the bus cams, and I know how long it takes to get out of there, and traffic wasn't as bad a decade ago as it is now. Trescott was not a divided road at the time, so they would have been able to quickly get out. And we also see that they in the green Prius are on that bus cam at 10:55. And that's the last time we saw the bus cam footage. It's 10:55, and they're literally less than 2 minutes away, about 2 minutes away. And the cam that we saw prior to that, in regards to time, I believe 10:53 a.m. is when Dan Markel was shot. So between 10:53 a.m. and by Wendi getting to TPD with Isom and starting her interview, it's 2:09 p.m. So approximately 3 hours. Okay, I'm going to talk real quick. If the hitman were there the day before, she wouldn't check the car. I'm in the. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I don't know what just happened there. Oh. Wi-Fi, don't go out. We've had a couple storms today. Nothing too bad. Okay. So, okay, here's an article. Hang on. Hang on, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm trying to navigate. Oh, I am not good. Okay, I'm going to read your comments for 1 second while I try to do something else. Okay. True YB. Oh, wait. Hang on, YB. I don't know what you said. Let me go back. Oh. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so it says, True YB, I'm curious what Wendi drove by and to in the days before. Wouldn't it have been interesting if she checked various locations of the drive-by? Yeah, it would be. Oh, I think that she knew it was going to happen. I think that Wendi was losing her mind. That it did not, or that she hadn't heard yet that it had happened. She went, yeah, she drove there purposefully, fiddly farting around all morning waiting for it to happen. Okay. I'm going to talk about why I don't believe that they followed Wendi from the crime scene in order to locate her at Mozaik. First and foremost, that would have been considered a felony stop. Whenever you are conducting a felony stop as a law enforcement officer, there's a lot that goes into it. You never know what you're going to encounter in a car, right? There are also like high speed chases that can occur, fleeing, eluding, etc. You don't know if they have a gun, a bomb, or anything inside their vehicle. So, and also, you guys remember, like Wendi, they probably knew when she arrived at the crime scene, and Officer Bill Brannon believed it to be her in the dark red minivan that was like his wife's. But he said that he only saw like what he thought was a female, but he didn't actually see the face, and he did not read the license plate. So he was not certain that it was her. But there's a lot going on at a crime scene. Every officer there actually has a purpose and a job to do when they are at the scene. They don't just hop in a car and start chasing a random minivan down Trescott. Down Trescott in this little neighborhood. They don't do that. Yes, it's a very terrifying job, YB. So the best way to do a felony, quote unquote, felony stop is really to have a contained situation. They didn't really know what they were dealing with at the time, right? They also knew that whether they found it out from anyone related to Dan or from what I believe is the property appraiser, they just looked up their address and they saw that Wendi used to be on that deed of the house, or that she was a co-purchaser of the home. I'm sure Dan had already had it transferred into his name, but they would have just looked at the line underneath on the property appraiser and saw that Wendi Jill Adelson was there, and put it into their David system, pulling her photo, her license, her actual driver's license, and also finding out what types of vehicles were registered in her name. There's a lot of danger, and there's a difference in my opinion, there's a big difference between risk and danger. Doing a felony stop on a car is dangerous. It's not just risky, it's dangerous. That's when law enforcement get killed, when they don't know what's going on or the situation is not contained. Cops cannot contain a moving vehicle, okay? So it's much better for them to put out the APB and the BOLO and put Wendi's little, license plate number, 123 ABC into SunGuide software. That would have been transferred out to local law enforcement. The Florida State Troopers who are up here, like the Florida Highway Patrol, I always call them state troopers. They are state troopers, but they're called FHP. Troop H is up in this area, so they would have just been circling. I'm sure Leon County Sheriff's Office was also circling Tallahassee looking for it. There probably was marked TPD cars as well that had these license plate readers on them looking for her car. It's much better if law enforcement can approach someone if they don't know what's happening. Like, they didn't know if she was a shooter or what, right? They didn't know anything. Or they didn't know anything about Wendi yet. But they knew that she had been married or had been a co-owner of that home. So they find her at Mozaik. Call goes in. Craig Isom comes, gets her. goes back to TPD, and then they start the interview process. Yeah, she was super mom in a minivan. You're right, YB. But felony stops without evidence, like without concrete evidence, which is what it would have been at the time if someone would have hopped in a police car and chased her down the street. Like, you guys, that did not happen. They don't conduct felony stops without evidence. They just don't. Now we're going to watch Officer Brannon. Let me okay, I'm sorry. I needed to cue it up because I actually had. You guys, can I just say this real quick about Judge Hankinson? I hope I don't get choked up because I didn't know him personally, but you guys, Judge Hankinson, he died in 2023, but he was known as Hang'em Hankinson. Like, he had overseen a lot of court murder trials. There was a lot of death penalties back in the day that were implemented on murderers under his when he was a judge on a case. And yeah, Hang'em Hankinson was his nickname, but he was really a nice man. He did yell at me once in a smaller neighboring county. Actually, it's one of the coastal counties that's also in Circuit 2, Franklin. He yelled at me once because I had sunglasses on the top of my head during court. And I had already been warned that he was like, no nonsense. And I was in there because I used to be, in my past life, or, my almost 20-year career was child abuse investigations in Circuit 2. Yeah, John, he had, I don't remember what the condition was with his voice. But yeah, it was, shaky. I cannot remember what the condition was called, but yeah, he passed away in, 2023 of a brain cancer, brain tumor. They found a brain tumor, I believe shortly after this trial. They found a brain tumor. Yeah, and he passed away. He was really nice, but he was no nonsense. And I had already been told, like, no gum, no sunglasses on your head. And I was out, and it was in Franklin County, but I was out. I had gone to court because my staff, it was like a real serious case out there. My staff, I needed to be out there as an administrator. So I'd gone out there. And I used to wear, like, my hair was long. I always wore sunglasses. Now I wear, progressive bifocal ones, but I always wore, like, my sunglasses, and I just, like, put them on the top of my head and hold my hair back. But yeah, kind of yelled at me a little bit. It wasn't really like a big yell. It was just a, hey. It was like, take those sunglasses off your head, ma'am. But very stand-up person. Okay, let's get to Officer Bill Brannon with the Tallahassee Police Department. He is the officer on Trescott that sees the dark red minivan 2006 Honda Odyssey that was Wendi, but his wife also drove one. And I'm going to speed it up because I want to kind of get through this. Ooh, too fast. Kristen, to answer your question real quick, I actually stay away from almost all child cases. and I only know a little bit about that What About Maya case. I don't know enough to make any type of opinion, but I really can't watch a lot of child. Now, if it's something that I've known about in the past, yes, I can revisit that information. I can revisit Chris Watts, and I mean, I can revisit a lot of cases that I've known about. But yeah, once I don't want to know any new cases about children being murdered or hurt or any of that. I've seen too much, so I'm just kind of. I don't want to be passive. I'm so sorry. Hang on, can you guys hear Officer Brannon? Oh, okay. Thanks, Kristen. Yeah, it's because I forgot to stop sharing this screen. Hello. And then share a new one. Hold on. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Hang on, let me rewind it real quick and then I'll share screen to show Officer Brandon. So when I was talking about Judge Hankinson, I thought I actually had his picture up on display. I'm so sorry. I just, you know, it is what it is at times. Okay, share screen. Where are we? There we go. Thank you. Okay, here's Officer Brandon. I have it at 1.25. Probably not going to listen to all of it. We're just going to really listen to the part where he sees the dark red 2006 Honda Odyssey pull up.
I do. Have a seat. Slide up the microphone, please, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please introduce yourself and spell your last name.
I'm Officer Brannon, Brannon, number 510 with the Tallahassee Police Department.
How long have you been with TPD?
Been with the Tallahassee Police Department for 20 years, and I was with FSU PD for a couple years prior to that.
Do you remember responding to a crime scene on July 18th, 2014?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that located on Trescott Drive?
Yes.
Who was there when you arrived?
The paramedics were already there, and Sergeant Sims and Investigator Bradshaw.
What time did you arrive?
Approximately 11:15 a.m.
And what was your role there on the scene?
I ended up writing the initial report.
Okay. Did you also participate in clearing the residence?
Yes, ma'am.
And during your clearing of the residence, did you see any evidence of a struggle or a robbery attempt?
When I was approaching the scene, which was in the garage of the residence, the paramedics were taking the victim out of the car. I saw bandaging around his head, blood on the victim, a little bit on the ground, a little bit on the car, some shattered glass, and I also noticed a half a pair of glasses laying on the ground just outside of the driver's door.
Okay, but inside the residence, any indication of forced entry or robbery?
No.
Did you also assist with setting up a crime scene perimeter?
I can't remember if I actually assisted with setting it up, but I definitely was guarding the north end at one point.
All right, what is a crime scene perimeter?
Basically cording off an area with crime scene tape and making sure no citizens come in the crime scene area.
And where was the crime scene tape set up that you assisted with holding?
Approximately a few houses north of the victim's residence on Trescott.
And would that be towards Centerville Road or the other direction?
Well, if you go on way around Centerville, it would have, Trescott, it would eventually hit Centerville.
But it would be between the crime scene and Centerville Road?
So he just said he was about 2 to 3 houses north of Dan Markel's home. Later on, I'm actually not going to show you, but during cross-examination, Rashbaum actually asks him to give an approximate feet, and he says he said between 100 and 200 feet, which would really be the frontage of 2 to 3 houses in that neighborhood.
Yes.
Okay. And
So the bottom line is that Wendi would have seen that it was her old marital home and Dan Markel's home where her sons were the night before. She would have been able to determine that is where the police were. She would have been able to see it.
if you were just passing by Trescott Road on Centerville Road, would you have been able to observe the crime scene tape?
From Centerville Road?
Yes, sir.
No.
Why not?
There's a considerable distance between there, and it also kind of curves around.
Centerville Road is 0.9 miles. 0.9 miles to Dan's home. And there's no way that Wendi was not all the way down on Trescott, okay?
Okay. During the time that you were holding the perimeter, that just means sitting there and making sure nobody comes through the tape, correct?
Yes.
All right. During the time that you were doing that, did you see a particular vehicle of interest pull up?
Yes, a mid to late 2000 Honda Odyssey van.
Is the vehicle pictured in State's Exhibit 19 consistent with the vehicle that you saw approach the crime scene tape that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And the vehicle that approached the crime scene tape would have had to turn onto Trescott and come a considerable distance down Trescott to get to the crime scene tape where you were.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And is this vehicle similar in make, model, and color as the one that you saw?
Yes, ma'am.
And why did this vehicle attract your attention that day?
I'd already heard word from other officers that
Sustained.
All right. Do you drive a vehicle of a similar make and model to this vehicle?
yes, my wife primarily drives a 2006 Honda Odyssey.
Were you able to see the driver of the vehicle?
I was pretty sure it was a female, but I couldn't say conclusively.
What about hair color or style?
No,
Tag number of the vehicle?
no, I didn't catch the tag number either.
And about what time did you observe this vehicle approach the scene?
It was right around noon.
And could you describe how the vehicle, what happened once it pulled up?
Just came up and made a 3-point turn and turned around and left the area.
All right. And did it do so? I'm assuming other vehicles probably did the same thing during that time frame you were holding the perimeter, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Because there was no ingress or egress down Trescott past that point, correct?
No.
All right. And the vehicle, did this vehicle turn around in any different fashion from the other ones that you?
Yes, correct. Right here. I'm sorry, I'm going to bring up chat for 1 second. Yes, Kristen. That is so sweet. That text was at 8:20 a.m. from Wendi to Charlie. This is so sweet. And remember, the boys were dropped off, I believe it was 8:30 a.m. So Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera would have already been following Dan to Creative. Creative was all the way across town, west off of Tharp Street. And if I were to guesstimate miles, I'm trying to think real fast. Approximately 7 to 8 miles from Dan's home to Creative. So basically, This Is So Sweet is saying Rivera and Garcia are tailing him. The boys are being, he's taking the boys to daycare. Sigfredo tells Katie. Katie tells Charlie. Charlie tells Wendi, probably via that burner phone that hopefully we'll find out that she had one. I don't know if cops can see if her phone number and another phone number were next to each other all the time, or what was coming from that neighborhood at the time. Because remember, the Geek Squad guy said that she was on her phone the entire time that he was there, but her phone does not reveal that. She talked to Charlie for the 18 minutes. She, deleted This Is So Sweet email, but what phone was she on texting? It wasn't her personal one. Just, plan in motion, 8:20 a.m. Okay, I'll get back to it. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I really appreciate it.
You observe turning around?
It seemed to be a little less hesitation compared to other vehicles.
What do you mean by that?
Overruled.
Can you describe what you mean by that?
Average citizens would be pulling up, and there's that kind of pause where I guess they're formulating a new plan, like, oh, I can't go the way I was planning on going. And then, kind of sit there for a second, and then they'll eventually turn around and go. The way I remember it, this van, just came right up, made the 3-point turn and left. Nothing crazy. It wasn't squealing tires or anything crazy like that, though.
Okay. Would the view that this driver of the van that approached the tape have had, would that driver have had a clear view of Mr. Markel's driveway?
Overruled.
You may answer the question.
Should have been.
And would the person driving the van have been able to observe at the time that person pulled up that there were emergency vehicles present in the driveway of Dan Markel?
It should be evident. There's plenty of emergency response vehicles and stuff on scene.
Yes, Kristen, the 18-minute call between Charlie and Wendi started at 9:19 a.m. that morning.
Like I said, approximately a few houses down.
What emergency vehicles were present at the scene at the time that vehicle pulled up?
There was probably approximately 4 or 5 patrol cars, the marked patrol cars. At least one of the crime scene vehicles, which was also marked with police on it, and then some of the investigators.
Okay. And your vehicle, was that a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you seated inside the vehicle, or were you standing outside the
I
vehicle?
was seated inside.
Okay. And did this person in the van get out or attempt to interact with you at all or ask you anything?
No, ma'am.
And would your vehicle have been readily visible to the person in the van?
Yes, I had the emergency lights activated also.
No further questions.
Cross.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I am going to stop his testimony. We can watch Rashbaum cross-examine him, but he really wasn't able to shake or do anything to Officer Brannon. And it is kind of interesting. I just heard that for the first time. I guess I didn't pay attention before, where he said that he's been with TPD for how many ever years, and before that he was at FSU PD. Usually it's the other way around. Usually, TPD guys try to go to FSU PD. FSU is, absence of the horrible school shooting back in April, university PD jobs are usually a little safer than your average police job. Okay, so this is something else that I want to share. Hold on, let me make sure I'm not muted. Okay, so this is another thing that I want to share. And I'm going to go to my YouTube page, and I'm going to show you guys my drive that I did last year. Let's see, view my channel. I got to figure out which is which. Let's see, where's my videos? No, John Smith, they are not strictly limited to the campus, but FSU campus is very large, and a lot of people always forget about Innovation Park, which is like the south end. Oh, God, I feel like I want to say it's like, oof, you know what? Wait, I'll tell you how large it is. It's many, many acres. Almost wanted to, I kind of want to say 266 acres, but I don't think so. It's 487 acres. Is the main campus. So they're not no, they're not strictly limited to campus. They also have some jurisdiction, if you will, kind of in area housing that's located right outside of campus. But TPD also covers the area as well. And TPD sometimes takes over certain cases in regards to jurisdiction versus FSU. Like, just for instance, and I don't want to get into this case at all, but like the Jameis Winston alleged SA, RAPE, grape of a sorority girl, that incident happened on campus, but TPD took over that investigation. Okay, I'm good. Okay, now let me take this one off. Let me share screen again. Stop screen. I'm going to show you guys my drive. Hang on. Okay. Sorry, I have so many things open. All right. This is my drive. Oh, well, you know what's funny? It's like right up. Oh, this is so funny. This is like right by Dan's house. I'm going to play this for a second. Okay. Hang on. Okay. I actually have to, I have to pull up the video that I want to show, pause it, and then reshare it, because I'm actually only sharing my page. This is, yes, off-campus housing would be included as well, but let's just say it's, something that occurs in off-campus housing. FSU PD might respond to it, but if there's like a criminal element to it, then TPD would take over that criminal investigation. That is my understanding of the jurisdiction. But FSU also, well, any university, like when you have students somewhere, like you kind of have, you might have something to do with it, if that makes sense. I don't know how better to say that. Okay. No. Oh, why is this not working? Hang on. Stop screen. I'm going to have to do another one. Share screen. Okay. Here we go. All right. Thank you guys for being so patient with me. Oh my God, I need a drink. Okay. Now I'm recording myself going back by. Okay. I'm going to pause it. Okay. You see this, that's right. Right here, this white mailbox, I believe that's the Geiger's. So pretty much at the beginning of my video is where Brandon would have been. Okay, now I'm recording myself going back by. Okay, here, I'll show you, because I actually, I went by there today, and I saw I saw one man who actually lives in the home. This right here, see that white vehicle right here? Let me see if you guys can see it, because I don't know if my mouse is doing it. There's a white SUV there. That is a vehicle parked in front of Dan Markel's old home. It's like a 4Runner or something. Oh, I'm not sure. But I did see the man that lives there today, and I will say, like, late 50s, mid 60s, short, very skinny man, shaggy hair. All I have to say is ex-surfer for sure. Just my opinion. And someone literally just happened to come out. And I actually, I had children in my car, but we had been at McCord Park, which is right nearby, that I also have video of too, because it connects to the drainage ditch and everything behind Dan Markel house. So Brandon would have been like pretty much where my, maybe about a house away from where my video started. And okay, this is also a lot of shrubbery, but there would have been ambulances, cop cars, everything all over the place. Police in that driveway. Wendi would have seen that they were at Dan's house. So, well, we all know that she's a liar. So, allegedly a liar. Oh, John, I don't know how to zoom. Hold on. I might have a better video. I might even have to look at Patty's video. Okay, right here's the speed hump. We're passing the witness. Now we're passing Dan Markel's former home, and timing it right now. Oh, this is also sorry. This is when I'm timing it to show that they actually shot Dan at 10:53 a.m. Because in like less than 2 minutes is going to be the location where Sigfredo and Garcia are seen in the Prius on the bus cam at 10:55 a.m. that day. Oh, Garcia. I'm sorry, John. I do not know how to wonder. No, I don't know how to zoom. I'm so sorry. Garcia and Luis Rivera leaving. kind of really, because they probably were going a little bit, I'm going a little bit faster than I would, like, yeah, there's a pedestrian, sorry. Going a little bit faster than I would, but this is about that 10:53 a.m. on the wall in a certain person's advertisement for their condo being for sale. Okay, so right here's Benton. Truscott Benton. And I'm also recording while driving, which I think that that's a big no-no, but I don't have anybody in the car with me. And Trescott used to be set up differently. And a lot of people didn't necessarily use Benton Road to cut through the Centerville to Thomasville Road in that section, unless like you lived in the area. So there was definitely less traffic a decade ago, and Trescott was not divided in the middle. So there's that. I don't. Where are all these people coming from? So they might not have gotten stopped like this back then, but that's okay. I'm still gonna. Oh, now I'm gonna get stopped at that light. Trying to show. Look right there. It's the baseball field. Oof. So right through there where I'm showing you the baseball field, to the left of that is the park where Dan's dedication bench is. Yeah, I don't know where all this heavy traffic's coming from. Probably should do that. And I was also recording this, I believe, like after 3 p.m. on like a work week or a school week. So this on a Saturday, early morning. Are you gonna let me out? Thank you. Oh, so nice. People let me out. Okay. I mean, I think it's already been 2 minutes, but if Lewis and Sigfredo did not have to wait in traffic and wait to turn out there, trying to prove that he's going to get up to Hermitage, or I'm sorry, Armistead, in 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to have to. A lot of people say Hermitage when they mean Armstead, and vice versa, as did the quote unquote possible witness at Ashford Apartments that saw like 2 men in a silvery car and said that, you know, they came back from the ditch area and one was wet. Like, you know, they thought it was that, according to the police report, she had called because after she had seen, or after she had learned of the murder, she had called and spoke to TPD. They also would have been booking it because they were driving pretty fast. They were booking it, right? They were like, does anybody else call it booking it when you're driving fast? Hauling butt, which is what it looks like they were doing. Like they were speeding. Oh, there's 45 right here, which I think is kind of good. I just passed Ashford. I think that's kind of fast. So even with all of that thick traffic that I was in, I think right. Yeah, my video is only 3 minutes and 23 seconds right now. And that's with traffic, and then a lady let me out and me having to stop at the light. In this area right here before Armistead was when they were seen the second time at 10:54. 5 a.m. after the shooting and headed back north on Thomasville Road. And I'm at 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Started recording, or I passed the Trescott home thinking, like they're leaving. I'm going to turn on Armistead just because I don't want to go all the way up to the interstate. But this would have been where they were, like, past that bus. Okay. Here is, guys, this is such. Okay, and this is McCord Park's going to be to the right, and it pretty much connects to the ditch and the back of Dan Markel's home that is behind Ashford Apartments. It's a beautiful neighborhood. And this neighborhood also, it's like Benton Hills. So like this neighborhood, or this street goes to a road named Klein. You turn right, you go up a little bit, and then there's Trescott. I love this neighborhood. See, there's the Beverly Hillbillies, or sorry, the Beverly Hills, Benton Hills sign. Look at that little Benton Hills sign. And this is, I don't even know how to say that name. They have really cool statues all throughout that little park. Okay, I'm gonna go here. Yes, correct, John.
This call is not.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay, yes, you can. Okay, Guy T. McCord is a judge from, I believe, like what was that date today? I looked at it. Maybe the early 1900s. I suppose I could just Google it. Can you guys hear me? Am I back? Hey. Hello? Hello? Hey. Hello? Hello? Hey. Oh, you can hear me now? Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I accidentally went back on the StreamYard thing. I have so many things open right now. Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, Lord. Now I'm trying to get something. I'm going to pull up another video of mine. It's just going to take me a minute. Okay. I'm so sorry, you guys. Please refresh. I apologize. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to share another video. Wait, hold on before I do that. Okay, here is the just a quick short video of the drainage ditch behind Dan Markel's home. When I'm done with something, I need to close it out. All right, I'm in this apartment complex. I'm going on the dog walk. I don't have a dog to walk right. Okay, this is Ashford Apartments. This is the apartment complex that's located behind the Truscott homes. And there's a large drainage ditch, and this is the possible, maybe, the sighting of either the first trip or the second trip where I believe that the hitmen were scoping out things. But I could be wrong. I did hear from a source that that tip from the lady who lived in Ashford Apartments, I think, according to the police report, her name was Mrs. Parks. I did hear from someone that that tip never really panned out. But even though the tip didn't pan out, I still question, maybe they were like at that apartment. Just because, police couldn't prove it, it doesn't mean that it wasn't a possibility. Right now, mine's at home. My two are. Okay. It would be interesting to know when all of this happened. Oh, but you know what? This is, some of this wood does look over 10 years old, to be honest, because then you can see like where they've done some repairs. I wonder if this was here. I know where I am now. Okay. Right there's where I was just standing. See the red roof? I don't know if this pathway was here a decade ago, y'all. Well, and I also don't put my camera to the back of Dan Markel's house. Like or his former home. I don't want to, violate anyone's privacy, but there is a lot of greenery and shrubbery. But look, this is one really cool thing about Florida. Oh, and this drainage ditch also was completely redone in 2002 when they actually, I believe, I'm trying to remember. In 2002, they blocked off Benton Road. It might have been a little bit earlier than that. Maybe it was completed in 2002. Between 2021 and 2022, Benton Road from Centerville to Thomasville was completely shut down. And then that's when they redesigned the entire road. And at the same time, they dug this drainage ditch out about 6 additional feet in order for, rainwater and everything to flow better into McCord Pond at McCord Park. Like some rocky ravines. And there's the floodwaters. See this creek? It's steep. You could walk down there. I'm not going to try it. I don't want to fall in. But if you're retrieving something, they're not going to show the back of their home. But here is a sign. And this looks like it's at the very, very back of the apartment complex property. Okay. And I did between here, showing the back. Here. And that white, okay. 2116 Truscott Drive is one of the houses over here between there and here. Yeah, guys, I don't really want to. You guys, that's only like 3 or 4 houses. I just didn't want to shine, I point my camera at the back of folks' homes. Shining. I don't know why I say shine, like as if I have a flashlight. Because it's clear. No, if I can. This large white culvert was not there back then. Figure out how to actually do a video and edit all this together. It's clear to me. Okay, so Dan Markel's home is pretty much on the right here, where a lot of that greenery is. That they want to maintain some sort of anonymity by changing the name of the owner of the house. Oh yeah, the home is listed as a business. It doesn't even have anyone's name on it in the property appraiser. I can show you guys that on the map because I just took a click of it and it was based on my location. So, and the city of Tallahassee is out there mowing while I'm there. I'll finish this video and then I'll do one more video and show you guys the path and the walk. I think it's about a 10-minute video or so. The path and the walk from McCord Park all the way up here. It wasn't a very long walk at all. I was out there today with a couple of my kiddos, and I don't know, we kind of got a little bit freaked out by someone, but it's all right. We ran and jumped in the car. Here, I'm gonna now follow the path. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go. I need to go meet the school's crossing guard for coffee. She's one of my friends, and that's another thing about Donna and Wendi. And as a Southern woman, I'm highly offended about that banana bread stuff, that banana bread bullcrap lie, because making people banana breads, zucchini breads, pumpkin breads, that's like a Southern thing. That's a neighborly thing people do. So I'm like pissed about the banana bread. It does say Benton Hills Nature Center. Okay, I'm gonna share one more video. Thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate it. Do you guys want to chat for a second? So what do you guys think? Yeah, let's talk about this for a second. What do you guys think about the license plate reader theory? If anyone is so inclined. Yeah, I don't think Donna bakes banana bread. There's no way. Zucchini bread is kind of like my specialty. I make muffins and stuff. I have neighbors who give me their fresh grown zucchini all the time and requests one of my breads. Yeah, I make pretty good pumpkin bread too, but I don't necessarily like pumpkin bread, but I do give it out, and I have really good recipes. And I'm just okay. Let me just say this for anybody who cares. Whenever you're making a bread like that with like a fruit, like banana, pumpkin, or zucchini, a fruit or a vegetable, if you double the vegetable or the fruit, it makes a much more moister bread. Just a tip. And it's not going to hurt your recipe at all. In fact, my zucchini recipe calls for, I think, 1 to 2 cups of zucchini, and I, at minimum, put 4 cups in. Hey, Susie Q, thank you for joining. Hi, Happy 24/7. Let me see. Even a mere joke of putting children anything in offensive garb than baking for them, that alone is evidence of evil. You are so right. Like as if Dan just forgave them with a banana bread, or, by receiving a banana bread when they were like talking about putting them in Nazi uniforms or like changing them to Catholicism when he's Jewish. Yeah, absurd. You're right. Oh, yeah, a lot of I just prefer zucchini bread. I think I'm just a little bit partial to it. Plus, like I use I put both nutmeg and cinnamon in my zucchini bread, and it just is very tasty. Yes, I always add walnuts to my banana bread. I don't add nuts, or I know someone who does like a chocolate chip zucchini bread. Not my thing. I don't add nuts or chocolate chips or anything to my zucchini bread. I don't know. No, he would not have. Ooh, yeah. Allspice. Allspice kind of scares me a little bit. It's really strong. Oh, yeah. So trying to find a cure says, I've never realized there's such a thing as a license plate reader. So when I was researching all of this, I found out like that London, England started using license plate readers in 1976. Like a form of license plate readers. Isn't that crazy? And I do know where the license plate readers are located on a lot of these country roads that travel between like Florida and Georgia. Because I live rural, and just because, like 319, which is Thomasville Road, that's like the main vein to go up to Thomasville, Georgia. But there are so many other little small roads, or even like country roads, even like private property roads that are, all over the place. But I do know where the license plate readers are. There's actually very pronounced ones on the big highways. And then there's kind of like hidden one. Well, they're not necessarily hidden, but you wouldn't really know what it is if you're just going through. One specifically that I know of is like over in the neighboring county, like west, like Jefferson County is east and Gadsden County is west of Leon County. but there's like this little road, and it is, you're out in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of farmland. It's called, is it called Concord Calvary Road? And there's like a license plate reader, and it's like hidden like next to a tree. It's so, I like saw it one day. I was like, oh my God, there it is. But yeah, yes, it's used all over the world, especially all over the United States. Like, Popo knows when people are coming in and out of their states. And yeah, I think that there's definitely been like some controversy in regards to, like just random surveillance. But a lot of that information just kind of goes into like a database. It's not being triggered, or police aren't being like alerted from the software, like from the Sun Guide software, unless there is unless there's an alert put in there to say, hey, show me when 123 ABZ license plate is going through. But yeah, you'll also, I kind of like to watch like police chase videos. I love watching, like, of course, Florida Highway Patrol, but also Arkansas State Police. They have like the craziest police chases. They literally have like a group of guys. Trooper Jacob Bird is like, top dog. If you were just to in YouTube search Trooper Jacob Bird with a Y, you would start seeing all of them. But yeah, there's discussion on there at times that law enforcement was notified that so-and-so is traveling eastbound on whatever road, and they're wanted in a murder, or they're, suspected of robbing a convenience store, they don't specify and say this information came from a license plate reader, but that's where they got the info from. Okay, I do want to show one more thing. Hold on. We go to, okay. Let me pause. I'm going to show you guys McCord Park. I guess everybody's just faster at this stuff than I am. So, but I'm also using the little mouse pad that's on your laptop. I'm not using a real mouse pad. Okay, so this is McCord Park.
It tells you about. I'm going to walk this path.
Yeah, and I'm not really good at I don't even know if some of these are edited. I'm just not really good at camera work. I just don't, like, the last thing I ever think of is like getting out my phone and recording something.
Okay, here's a map. Okay, that water. Okay, it tells you about all the things.
So in the significance of this video, this is the McCord Pond, and that drainage ditch drains down into McCord Pond. And it used to, that particular drainage ditch that we were looking at, and we'll see it again in a minute, it used to be shallower. before they went through and redid everything and dug it out. It was a big deal. Like, Beverly Hills Homeowners Association, all those people were involved in the goings on.
That lake. Let me see. It's right here. I'm gonna go to the other side of the lake and see if I can see Ashford Apartments from it, because I think that the witness.
So I had never gone down this one grass path that I'm going to go down in a minute, but I actually didn't realize that it went all the way to Ashford, but I'm about to show you that it did. And I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
So when the witness, Mrs. Parks, said, squirrel. Okay, squirrel.
Like, I was like, ooh, squirrel. I get so like shaky out here. You guys, if there's no one out here, it's kind of creepy. And yeah, my kids and I, we saw someone that was a little odd today. So as soon as we got around this one corner and I could see my car, like we ended up just running to my car because he was acting a little weird.
Was talking about seeing people. She kept saying in the police report when she called and thought that she had seen two people in the silver car or whatever behind Ashford Apartments. She kept saying hermit.
Oh, and another thing, I don't know why I'm whispering.
In the police report, but I really think that she meant Armistead. Okay, I just parked on Armistead, and Armistead is the light that Luis Rivera and Sigfredo Garcia are approaching when they're spotted by the bus cam after the shooting, right? They're spotted turning onto Benton at I think it's like 10:51 and some seconds. And then they're spotted again. That was like southbound Thomasville Road, right? Turning left onto Benton, which leads to Trescott. See, here's a lake. It's actually a crane through there. So, okay, sorry, Mrs. Parks saying Hermitage. Well, I think that she meant Armistead. Hermitage is much more farther north. Okay, look, y'all. Look, there's the drainage. Oof, I'm alone.
Okay, I apologize. So I'm on this little pathway around the park. There's also these really beautiful statues out there. I don't know if you noticed the kimono dragon statue, but there's these other ones that are really cool too. But right here's the bridge. So in this shot, to the left is the McCord Pond, and to the right is the drainage ditch. And it's connected to like where that culvert was and the start of the drainage ditch behind the Trescott homes.
Okay, I believe that this is the lake that she was talking about. Oh, there's one of those white egrets. Okay, let me do this path. Oh, ski.
The person that we're about to see, this man and the dog did not scare me this day. He had a husky.
How are you?
Oh, fine, how are you?
Good. Puppy.
I ended up talking to him.
Up, like behind Ashford Apartments. Is that where it leads to?
Yeah, actually, it goes straight past K.
Okay.
Figured it out.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
So when I
Hey,
came
guys.
back,
Okay.
I actually ended up talking to him briefly.
Circle K. Well, Circle K is like 2 doors down from Ashford. Okay. So, okay, you see how, like, I mean, it's rain, so here's, oh, little fishies. So here, this is that drainage ditch. Ooh, lots of roots. Okay. I don't want to trip because I'm not watching where I'm going. Probably be best if, like, I had it live and I could do, like, a video. Looks like we're coming up. Oh, turtle. Hi. Yeah. So there's all the way around. Natural rock formations. Yikes. Drainage hose.
Oh, and another thing,
Yeah,
real quick,
look. Right there's Ashford Apartments.
I did see a sign that said that a lot of this greenery cannot be mowed. It said something like, do not mow. It's like protected for wildlife or something to that effect.
Here we go. Oh, look. Look where I am. It's the back of some people's houses. I'm not going to. Ooh, it is kind of thick through here. One of the things you have to be careful of is snakes. But
Yeah,
look,
and I'm scared of
Look.
snakes.
I'm about to probably hit that culvert in a minute. I'm just going to keep going to the trail.
Okay, that's pretty much like the back of the Trescott homes. Dan's home is one of these on my left now.
Here I am, guys. Yep, I see.
And I'm like a
that.
scaredy cat
I'm
out
not
there.
going to face my camera over there, you guys. I don't want to be recording anyone in the back of their home. But look where I am. Look where I am. So, Mrs. Parks, I apologize for the correction. Pretty sure you meant Armistead, not Hermitage. Look, there's the culvert. And you guys, I mean, now that I know, I'm pretty much right next to you. Look. Ooh, look. There's Ashford.
I'm like, ooh,
There's that.
bug.
There's the ditch. I'll keep going. Ooh, I'm going around. Okay. There you have it. I'm only going to show the ditch, you guys. I'm only going to show the ditch. Okay, I am back over here at McCord Pond. Oh. Anyway, that bird. Okay. So the man that I saw with the husky when I was like heading out there, I just stopped and talked to him for a minute. Of course, I'm not going to record that. But he definitely confirmed that the ditch has been completely redone, which is what I thought. That culvert was built probably between 2019 and 2021. One thing that a lot of people might not know, like if you're not from around here, but Benton Road between Centerville and Thomasville, which is the entirety of the road, was completely shut down to everything but local traffic. I think the dates, because I remember it was going on during COVID, but that's when they built that big culvert to, maintain and like the flooding. The ditch did get like filled up with water. So they've changed a lot of that. But the road that I'm approaching, because I'm at this McCord Park, the road is Armistead. And that's McCord Pond. I think some people might call it a lake. Yeah. So, Mrs. Parks, I definitely think you have something to say. That's for sure. Okay, guys. Goodbye now. Okay. One more thing I'm going to do. Just while I'm out here.
I actually did edit. Somehow I
I go
edited
up
this. I
here.
don't remember how.
And come out. Oh, that's what I'm there. Sorry. I'm going to come here. So I'm basically doing a circle. Here's Klein.
I just want to make sure I'm still okay. Yeah, I see my little icon saying that I'm not muted. Okay, or that you guys can hear me. Thank you.
Turn right on Klein. Because Klein
Oh, my
comes out
stuff's
right there.
swinging.
Right up there where you see that car. That's Truscott, guys. See? Sorry, I don't know what just happened. I think I stopped it. Click or something. Okay, so there you have it. There's Truscott. At the corner of Klein and Truscott. So, okay. See? See?
All of
Here's
this
the
is
other
the core
side
part.
of this park. This is on Truscott. To my left back there, I didn't really show it, but to my left back there is Blythe. So yeah, coming up on Dan Markel's home. You guys, they knew this area. They knew this area big time. But okay, the man with the husky. I told him what I was doing. Well, I told him I was just trying to see like if there was a pathway and what that looked like, and if I could get out, get through there. And I mean, it took me straight there. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that was tragic." And I said, "Well, the mother-in-law's going on trial. Trial starts."
This was last year, right before Donna's, trial that went awry. So, but I had spoken to the man with the husky.
September 16th, and he said, "Oh my goodness, I did not know that." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, what about the ex-wife?" I said, "Well, she hasn't been arrested yet." He's like, "Yeah, she probably didn't have anything to do with it." And y'all, I said, and he was a really nice man. He's out there with this beautiful 2-year-old husky. And I said, "Yeah, well, she drove to the crime scene completely out of her way." He's like, "Oh, I did not know that." But you know what? Maybe he'll look up the case. Goodbye for now.
Okay. I'm just like, all right. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm like so behind in the chat. Let me look. Wait, at True Crime. Okay. Have you ever timed a direct drive versus Wendy's drive to see how much longer her shortcut is? No, but I had thought about doing that. So where Aqua Ridge is, it's actually in the middle of this huge neighborhood, Killearn. And Killarn, there's like Killarn Woods, Killarn Lakes, Killarn Estates, there's like Killarna, whatever. But where she was renting that Aqua Ridge home is off a road called Garden View. And I think a lot of people have done that drive. But I should do a drive the other way. Yes, I thought about it, but I guess I need to just get better recording equipment, or at least something where I'm not like holding my phone. I usually my phone is usually like tucked in my purse and like zipped up, because I don't have a phone out when I'm driving, because I'm trying to set an example for my children. So I don't have like, a little mounting station or anything in my car for my phone. If I'm ever on my phone in the car, is when I'm at a red light. And let's see. Wait, I'm sorry. Let's see. This is what John Smith said. Have you ever timed a direct drive versus Wendy's drive to see how much longer her shortcut is? Yeah, her shortcut was her shortcut was a long cut. But I'm familiar with all of these areas. So if Wendy would have just went directly to Mozaik, what she would have done is she would have, left her home on Aqua Ridge, gone to Garden View, which goes out to a road called Shannon Lakes. And then Shannon Lakes, you can turn on Killarney Way, which would have taken her almost directly to Market Square. Or she could have gone Shannon Lakes to Shamrock, and then Shamrock would have come to a road called Cary Forest, and then there was a brand new, large, like massive, really nice ABC liquor store that was on Thomasville Road. All of these roads from where Wendy was like living at on Aqua Ridge, all of them lead to Thomasville Road on the north side of Thomasville Road. The ABC liquor store that she went to, that's located in the Benton Hills area, is, I guess it would be kind of considered like the south side of Thomasville Road. One thing that I've always wanted to do, because I know that, remember Sigfredo gets the call from Katie. I'm trying to remember. Yes, at 12:30, Tuto to KM, I'm reading my notes, says, like, it's done, and then Katie McBenua replies, I know. This is the thing. I don't know. Katie is so attitude-y. I don't know if she's just like, I know. Or was it like, I really know? I don't know what to think about that particular thing. However, 12:30, okay, the pew pew happened at 10:53. We see them on Thomasville Road heading north to I-10 at 10:55. They were only about 2 miles away from I-10, so a couple minutes, and then they would have just hopped on I-10, headed east. That would have taken them to I-75, then go south back down to South Florida. So in an hour and a half, let's say that they got to I-10 at 11 a.m., an hour and a half driving, 75 miles an hour, because it's 70 miles an hour on the interstate. You can basically go, 5 to 10 miles, even though I was pulled over 20 something years ago in Madison County going 79 in the 70. But everybody knew back then, like Madison County, like they just pulled over everyone on the interstate. But that's an hour and a half. So going approximately 75 miles an hour for an hour and a half, that would have put them in the Lake City area, and actually they would have been on I-75, not I-10. I don't know where Luis Rivera took them to quote unquote find the gun, but 12:30 is when I think Luis Rivera said, like when Katie called him, I can't remember if he said it was right before Tudo called Katie and said it's done, or if it was right after and then they pulled over and then ditched the gun. But it would be very interesting to see, because that would be, what would that be? Going 75 miles an hour and a half. That would be they would have been, what is the math there, guys? How many miles would they have been away from Tallahassee? Because, okay, so where they got on Thomasville Road, that's exit 203, going 75 miles an hour. The exit off of I-10 to get on to I-75 South is number 296. So that's 93 miles on I-10. Then they would have, gotten that exit that went right onto I-10 at 296. So 93 miles away. Then I don't know. I don't know where they would have been. But okay. Oh, Kristen. Yes, my father's alibi. Hey, oh. Allison, are you a mod on my channel? Here, let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can make you a mod. And then you can post the email links. Let me figure out how to do that real quick. Oh, I think I need to be in YouTube Studio. Hang on. Hope I don't accidentally close out. Where is... Customization. Trying to get to the place where you add mods. Oh, there we go. Community moderation. I found it. Hold on. My father's alibi. I thought that you were a mod. Let me see if I can do that. How do I do that? Let me see if I can do that. There you are. Okay, Allison. Allison, I just gave you a wrench. So do you want to post? You want to post the email link? Okay, John Smith says, if Donna and Harvey were going to Tally, would they go by Charlie's house if they were driving directly there? I haven't been there in years, but I thought Charlie was off I-95 while they should be on I-75. So, okay, so I-75 it ends up turning into like Alligator Alley. So I-95 is like the quote unquote coastal interstate in Florida. It goes, I think it goes all the way up to New York State. That's like coastal. But I-75 runs through the state and then it like branches off. It turns into 275 around like the Tampa, St. Petersburg area. And then you get back on to I-75 and then it turns into quote unquote Alligator Alley, and then you can go right to Miami. Like you basically cross the state kind of, but it's way down south that you cross the state, like even south of Sarasota, Collier. I think you end up going east, like in Collier County, and then I-75 goes over there. But I don't know. But I-95 was probably the interstate that they were on. But at some point, they would have just crossed the state and gotten on to. I don't know which way they went, but I will say this though: when Wendi talks about the Hiawassee Springs sign, that's off I-4, which is like kind of the interstate that you take to avoid like paying the toll road on the turnpike. So I don't know, but I thought that Charlie lived south of Donna and Harvey when that happened. So if they were headed toward Tallahassee, they were going north. With no matter what interstate that they were taking, they were going north. But we do know that first night they drove into Orlando and stayed at a hotel in Orlando on the night of the 18th, and then got up the next morning and continued to Tallahassee and arrived on the 19th. Donna and Harvey did. They did stay in a hotel in Orlando. But yeah, they would have been backtracking if they went to Charlie's house, because I believe he lived south of them. I could be wrong, but I believe that they did. Okay, it goes all the way to Maine. Thank you, John. I-95 goes all the way to Maine. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Here is I'm gonna share. Let me do that. Stop screen. I'm gonna share another screen. Hold on. So this document that I got the license plate reader information from, it's the May 2009 Department of Transportation, basically like their newsletter. And this is when they're announcing that the city, but this is kind of funny. So, when you're talking about, inappropriate surveillance and everything, it's like, this is a May 2009 newsletter, but they're informing everybody that on January 13th and 14th, earlier that year, that 16 license plate readers were actually installed, which I'm finding that a little bit funny. So yeah, this one would have been, and okay, so there's 16 cameras with the 5 locations, and 2, like, the US 90 East and US 90 West, they only have like a westbound and an eastbound camera. But I kind of think like each camera has like either 2 or 3 ways that they face. So there's 16 cameras installed in these 5 different exits. And not only do they capture what's happening on the interstate, they also see what's happening on the crossroads. So just because they were being installed on interstate, they can also pick up what's going on Thomasville Road, what's going on 90 East, North Monroe Street. And Wendi would have taken Thomasville Road after she bought the Bullet Liquor, and then I think she probably went to that. I don't know if we've seen the definite information as to which gas station she went to, because didn't she also get gas? And she probably just went to that Circle K that's pretty much located behind her old marital home. It's right next to Ashford Apartments. Probably pulled in there, whipped in there, got some gas, and then she would have been on Thomasville Road. So I don't know, the license plate reader would have picked her up on Thomasville Road. Yeah, John, it was way out of their way. It was out of their way. They backtracked to go to Charlie's for the money drop. But, they're just driving by the interstate and, waving out the window. Hey, we're at your house. But they were just on the interstate. I mean, what's so bizarre, and so today I got a new recommendation of a channel. I forgot what it was, but David Ehrenberg was on it. What was it called? Hang on. A sub, so I want to look real quick. Dave Ehrenberg was on it. It's called Inside the Law. The man's name is Bill Holloway, but they were discussing how ridiculous the defense theory was in Charlie's trial. But it had to be so ridiculous for Charlie to try, because Charlie thought he was going to get on the stand and explain away all of the evidence that the state had against him. So I guess that's what he came up with to try to explain it away, right? To explain the bump, to explain the not only the Matsuri recording of him and his father, but then also the Dolce Vita recording between him and Catherine McManawa. It had to be crazy, because how was Charlie going to explain it? So do you guys have any questions that I might be able to answer? Or, I mean, I think everyone on here is really versed in the case against the Adelsons in regards to the murder of Dan Markel. Well, thank you everyone for being here. I've been on for almost 2 hours after I had spent about an hour and a half prior to that trying to come on. Oh. Oh yeah, I can show you. Hang on. Oh, so I'm looking on my phone and StreamYard is very slow with the comments. Okay, hang on. Yes, I will. You guys want to see the motel where Tato and Tuto stayed? I can show you that. Hold on, let me. Because it's called a Clarion now. I think I took pictures of it, but I wouldn't know how to pull up pictures from my phone at all. Give me 1 second. Okay, so now I'm going to, okay, let me remove that stop sharing that screen. Stop sharing that screen. Okay, I'm sorry I'm talking myself through this, you guys. I think it just helps me. Hold on. Can you see that? Okay, hang on real quick. I have to do something. So let me see. Hang on. Let me see if I can get a better. Where's there like not a map and a? Oh, I suppose I could get the address, right, and then look it up on. Okay, here's the address. And then just do a Google map. All right. Three two three oh three. Okay, where is the Google map? Oh, here we go. Oof. Yeah, and you guys, this is like a rough. Oh, okay. This is so funny. How? Ooh, when is this? Oh, I don't know what just happened. Okay. Oh, that picture's from 2016. Because I was like, oh, this right here is the Hang on, I do not know how to turn that. Oh, I don't know how to turn this with a mouse that's on a laptop. Oh, Lord have mercy. That is not what I wanted. Oh, okay. Well, here's the top. Okay, so this right here, it used to be like a Chinese buffet. Over here is to the far left, right here, these little yellow signs, like that's the Denny's. This is the Chinese buffet. Oh, how do I get over there? Hang on. Oh, that is not helping. What am I doing? Okay, I want to be over here. I wonder why they're. This is the hotel, guys. Why can't I get? I don't know how to move over there. Ooh. Oh my God. Okay, I don't know how to work a mouse that's on your laptop. Oh, here's something. What does that do? Oh, nope. I want to go the other way. What does it say? Click what? Control. Oh. Oh, jeez. Okay, it used to be the roadway in. And this picture is from 2016. Let me try to figure out how to rotate it. Lord have mercy. Oh, there. This is the hotel. Right here. Look, roadway in. And now it's called the Clarion. Okay, thank you guys for having patience. I think that there's going to be a lot of people covering this case. There are a lot of channels, actually large channels covering the case. They do not get details correct, which is crazy, but it's fine. I'm not gonna be territorial. Yeah, I have a feeling that a particular person who might be coming is going to be in a disguise. Okay. YB, when you say how close is it to Monroe, like how close is what to Monroe? Oh, that motel is on Monroe Street. That's where the roadway in is. But I do find it pretty amazing that Sigfredo wasn't following like a map in Tallahassee. I'm also kind of directionally challenged. Like when I know something, then I'm fine. And I mean, like if I've driven it, I can usually go back there. But if I'm riding in a car, oh, I am not the best. And when I first moved to Tallahassee, this is like before, people had like the Garmin's or like the TomToms in their car. Like I didn't have a navigation system. I didn't even have a cell phone when I first moved to Tallahassee. Okay. And I was a grown adult. I was already a college graduate for almost 2 years at that point. But Capital Circle is essentially a U. It's not really a circle at all. But that was like my frame of reference. And I used to like drive one part of Capitol. I would do the entire big U to get all the way to the other side of Capitol Circle. Like I didn't realize that, like, oh, Monroe Street just goes straight through, and yeah, whatever. Sorry. But yeah, I think that yeah, my father's alibi. I see your about a particular person saying that she wasn't going. Like she said that though when it was supposed to be when the trial was supposed to be in June because of a remodel. So, yeah, I think she can't stay away. I don't know what she said. I don't like, even if it were, I think last night I got like a recommended video off of her channel and I just clicked like, don't recommend this channel. So I don't know what she's telling her people. I do know that, let's say this. I do know when I was watching her a couple months ago, she did kept telling people, like, or she did keep telling people, like, I guess that she had a plan and then she was going to start some sort of like, special email list. And if she recognized, but I'm completely blocked from her channel. I'm pretty sure I got blocked like the night I went crazy on it. Or the night I went crazy in the chat, like, like typing, saying, like, people die, people lose their livelihood, the hurricane is not funny. Like I kind of posted something like that once in her chat. And she was, chilling. Yeah, she's going to double down. She doesn't have a problem with lying. I mean, she's lied so many times about just the drive itself, like where she turned off. She said she was on Centerville, like in that it was blocked there, and she never turned on Trescott. Then she turned on Trescott, and then she didn't drive to the crime scene. It is what it is. Yeah, I believe that Donna was probably inquiring whether it was on the phone or in emails or even in person as to schools prior to the new school year starting for the boys in 2014. We haven't seen any evidence of that, but I definitely believe that she was inquiring about it. Hmm. Yeah, they would have had to start. Well, they put the plan in motion, I believe, back in March. I mean, that was, that's when Jeffrey Lacasse, Wendi, Charlie, and Katie Magbanua are at the restaurant eating outside. And remember, Sigfredo and Luis are in a parked vehicle watching. And that was back in March during spring break with the Immokalee alternative spring break. Da, 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 da. Exactly. How can a parent reasonably know that the house move would happen if the problem wasn't solved by July? And also, in my opinion, it was really due to Cece's having fear of her little career legalized. Ugh. You guys, they didn't think that they were ever going to be caught. Remember, Charlie the maestro was going to solve it all for his whining mom to get her off of his back. They did have a dumb plan. And I know that people complain that it's been taking so long. You guys, this is not the only case that's taken 10 years. And it's nothing, it's nothing against, Markel's or, but there's, and I think that the prosecution got burned when the first trial, when they tried Sigfredo and Catherine Magbanua together, and they got a conviction on Sigfredo, and Catherine was a hung jury, 11-1, and it was declared a mistrial. And I think at that moment in time, they decided that they were going to go one at a time. And another thing is like more evidence has continued to come about in that time frame. And like when I think about like delayed justice, I think about Allison. Like Allison, it's 43 years at this point in time. And there's been no justice, right? There was an arrest and then charges dropped. So, yeah, I get it. 11 years is a long time, especially when you have like little toddlers and they've, now they're, one of them just turned 16 and the other one is going to be 15 in October. They're 2 years apart in school because one's born in July and then one's born after August. So they're born in October. So they're 2 years apart in school, but they're only 15 months apart in age. Yeah, Ivy. Donna is the gift that keeps on giving. The hot mic dropped call, or the jail call where Charlie has been disconnected, but she didn't press end on her cell phone or whatever phone she was on. And then she rattles out. I mean, she's literally saying like her and Harvey should basically do a suicide pact together. and like, and people will find her. We'll just let it, let them know where all the paperwork is, or let's flee to a non-extradition country. Come on, Banjo. Sorry, that noise has been my little man, the golden retriever, scratching. He probably just wants to run around in the yard and like bark right now. There's just been so much drama this week alone around Donna and, a local attorney. So, like, I mean, I've always said this. I know I've put it in chat. I've probably said it here as well. That Wendi could not even act innocent. It's like she should have hopped out of her okay, I don't want to. It's neither here nor there. But hello, to act innocent, like you hop out of your minivan screaming, "What's going on at that house? What's going on? That's my ex-husband's house. That's where my kids were last night." I mean, like, hello. Oh, this dog's out here barking now. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, YB. YB, they sure are pulling out all the stops. They're doing a lot more than little Rashy did for Charlie. Because I actually think that Charlie might get an appeal. Like, he's got an excellent appellate court. I'm sorry, an appellate lawyer. And the state has asked for, I believe, a 30-day extension in regards to his appeal, like his attorney's argument for his appeal. Yeah, it's Offerman, something like that. I think it starts with an O or a U, though, Kristen. I'm not sure. Yeah. Well, I think, from my understanding, remember, I am not an attorney, nor do I play one on TV. But I think that he might be able to argue, ineffective counsel. Because Rashbaum really worked for his mom. Like, Rashbaum didn't call anyone up but Adamson, Wendy's former family law attorney. That was like nuts. Yeah, he was in over his head. I don't know why they thought that a white collar financial attorney could try a criminal case. Yes, Rashi bad. I don't know. I mean, of course, I just said, I'm not an attorney, but I don't know. I think that they might be able to argue. I mean, of course, it would be devastating, I believe, to the Markels if he got, if his conviction was appealed. But I don't think that a second trial is going to go any different. I think that it would be the same result. John, my understanding is that you have to be qualified for a death penalty case, not necessarily just a murder case. That's my understanding, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Hello, Jibs and Jabs. Guys, Jibs is in the house. Oh, that's what we can do. We're gonna show a video, one of Jibs's videos. So Jibs, I've been on for almost 2.5 hours. And I am sorry I missed your call today. I had a lot of stuff going on. So, just to get Jibs, I did what you told me to do 11 months ago. I talked about the license plate readers tonight. In fact, because I had like my notes that I took, and I put them in like my little note thing on my phone. They're from September 18th of last year. Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm not going to highlight that, but I see your comment. Let me do this. So, hang on. Okay, so Jibs, this is the roadway in. Somehow I pulled up an April 2016 Google Street View before it became the Clarion, but this is the hotel right here where Tuto and Tato stayed. Look, it says welcome on the sign. How cute. But I'm telling, if any of you guys are coming up here, do not get a hotel on this part of Monroe Street. If you're going to stay on Monroe Street, you guys need to be downtown. And I don't want to get political, but I'm just going to say this. In 2019, Leon County implemented the free needle exchange program, and the homelessness has just completely like skyrocketed all over the city of Tallahassee. And this is nothing against homeless people, because I understand that homeless people are sometimes homeless because of financial reasons. But I will say this, a lot of homeless people are mentally ill, like yelling at themselves or other people. And they're also at times violent. And then sometimes they're also drug users. Like bad. There is, okay, so Tennessee Street is Highway 90 that runs east and west through Tallahassee. It runs parallel with I-10 in most parts as well. But Mahan, okay, so Tennessee Street turns into Mahan as you continue to drive east. And many years ago, they built this, massive Walmart. It's really like kind of like a department, old school, like Sears department store going on in there. There's a Bass Pro Shop, there's a Dollar Tree in there. There's a Costco, and there's also a movie theater. It's a very large complex. And first off, okay, there's like chickens that live in the bushes in the Walmart parking lot. One time I was trying to burn time because I had like some kids doing stuff at, after school or whatever. And I had gone into the Dollar Tree over there. So I was like, oh, well, maybe this Dollar Tree is like, I don't know, fancier than the others because of the location. And when I got out of my car, I saw all of these like computer cleaner air things that had been like crushed and smashed. And I was like, oh my God, that's so weird. And then I'm like looking looking, and then I was like, oh, that's huffers. That's people huffing, you know, the aerosol can stuff. And then right after that, I saw dirty needles thrown up into the bushes in this shopping complex that's supposed to be kind of like, you know, the really nice one. It's bad. It's a little bad in the city. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this. How do I remove it? Okay, stop screen there. Okay. And then I'm gonna go to Jibbs' channel. Jibbs, look, you're all the way down there. Okay, this is Pinocchio, Wendy's Nose Growing video by Jibbs. Oh, I am not. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Okay, I'm so sorry. I thought I was actually sharing that. Oh, so sorry. Hold on. Real quick. I keep forgetting that step. Oh, okay. And I didn't realize that this was that video. I might not want to show this one. Is Jibbs, is that a PENIS on there? What is that? I don't know if I could say that word on YouTube. Is that a thing? Oh, she put in talk to you later 5 minutes ago. So Jibbs isn't here anymore. Yeah, I don't want to, hang on. This one's my favorite. The Chola.
I want to begin by introducing the YouTube content creators that I will be addressing.
Okay. Rewound.
I want to begin by introducing the YouTube content creators that I will be addressing in this video. Let's start with Fancy, who presents herself as a victim/warrior for justice in the Dan Markel case / OG content creator. But behind the scene, you'll find a pushy, controlling, and angry bitch that instigated a large part of this drama.
Oh, God.
Hello, Donna. Then you have Katie Cool Lady, whose sister was murdered, and brands herself a murder survivor / victims advocate / mental health something or other. But when the mask slips, oh dear. Let's weld the mask on, because the cool lady is more like a kook lady that makes me want to build a fortress wall. Then you have Society Simp. What can I say about a pink pooty hat wearing? Soy drinking estrogen fueled male feminist. Dude, stop drinking the soy. You've slipped from a simp to a pet gimp for Donna and the kookster. That being said, let's get started. Hola, what's happening? Thank you for being here. I have two very special guests. The host Patty from Patty's Playhouse.
Thank you for having me.
And Allison from her father's alibi.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here.
Welcome to my new studio, ladies. I want to begin by addressing the pink elephant in the room. Shout out to Mia Wallace for having me address the issue with the crazy bitches as a pink elephant. I wouldn't want to offend them nutballs. So let's start with you, Patty. When did the conflict or attacks on you begin?
Well, the rudeness towards me began before I actually had a YouTube channel. It started during a Ruth Markel book signing event. I was introduced to Katie, and she literally gave an about face and walked away during the introduction. I knew then something more than sand had crawled up her ass. Then when I started my channel, I felt some hostility by some of the OG content producers, but kept on doing my shtick, which is real estate and comedy. Then things got a little nasty when I began making fun of Wendi Adelson's housekeeping skills and her choice of clothing. For some unknown reason, Wendy's dirty house is off limits according to the internet, but I don't give a rat's ass, so I continued doing my shtick. Then the second wave of attacks came with the Dan Rashbaum bar complaint.
Interesting. I'll circle back and address these attacks on you, Patty. But I first want to get Allison's story. So Allison, I see you are a Yale professor by day and a gangsta at night. So what exactly happened between you and the turds?
Well, I contacted Katie because I felt a connection with her. I also lost my mother at a young age, and just like her, I was raised by a tyrant absentee father. Plus, we both have had a family member murdered, so I thought that she would understand my journey in getting justice for my mother, Nancy Galvani. I didn't know there was trouble behind the scene between content creators, but things got hot after the Donna Adelson trial was delayed and Patty had reported Dan to the bar. Katie began to accuse Patty of trying to copy her.
Me copy her? On purpose? Was she having drinkity drinks when she said that? That bitch is all shades of cray.
She probably was, but it's hard to know because she's always talking some madness. But anyway, one day I saw Patty on a live stream. I went into the chat and said hello to her. A few days later, I received a call from Katie, and she was screaming that I betrayed her by going on Patty's channel. Then I started getting long, nasty grams from Society Simp disparaging Patty. I honestly was stressed because I thought I had ruined the chance of getting the word out about my situation. I apologized to Katie many times, but she did not want to hear it.
You apologized to Katie? For what? Was it an, I'm so sorry for saying hi to Patty, please forgive me, and I will never say hello to her or any other person you dislike apology? Don't get me wrong, I am not shaming you. Given that behind the scenes, these content creators were actively trying to squash Patty, you must have thought you would suffer the same fate.
Yes, I did, and I also felt I was being disloyal to Katie, who had helped to bring attention to my mother's murder. But thanks to my husband and Mia Wallace, who both helped me realize that I wasn't the problem and I had done nothing wrong.
It was ridiculous of the Kookster, Fancy, and the rest of the turds to demand or order you to stay away from Patty's channel, or from any channel. If you want to bring attention and justice to the murder of your mother, Nancy Galvani, you need to be a guest on many different channels. I bet if your mother's murder was high profile, the Kookster would be out in the San Francisco Bay Area, combing the scene with a metal detector, trying to find the murder weapon. Let me show you the next clip of Ruth Markel. I admire her strength and determination. She is truly a fighter. And for those of you who may not know who she is, her son, Dan Markel, was a Florida State University law professor who was murdered inside of his garage in 2014. Evidence in the case pointed towards the family of his ex-wife, Wendi Adelson. As you can see, Ruth has appeared on Court TV, Law and Crime, Mentor Lawyer, Roberta Glass, AA Legal Focus, STS, Women in Crime Podcast, the Wondery Podcast, and Court Authority Podcast, and other YouTube channels that may or may not be on this board. Do you think the trio would dare tell Ruth not to appear on certain channels or podcast because it's a betrayal to their friendship, or because they feel the host of certain channels are disrespectful towards the victim? If the issue is because of disrespect, let me show you the following clip. As you can see, we all need to take a lesson from the trio, who show respect by posting the decapitation scene from the movie Kill Bill and giving the credit to #justice for Dan Markel for the video. Our next lesson in respect comes from the Cookster. Great friend she is. So will the still grieving mother, Ruth Markel, was giving a presentation and signing copies of her book. The Cookster decided she was going to be rude and unwelcoming to Patty, who at the time did not have a YouTube channel, and was just a guest at Ruth Markel's book signing event.
Okay.
To Lady Macbeth.
Let me go back. Okay. Oh, no,
Let's start with...
sorry. Okay. I'm going to... Hang on. Yeah, I just want to say something because I kind of don't really want to bring a lot of this up, but for any of you who are here and you're not really understanding, there's a lot of stuff, I guess, that went down. A certain creator did a beheading video on Patty, like a beheading video of Patty from Patty's Playhouse, and like shit hit the fan prior to that, but then it was just crazy. So I kind of don't want to bring in like the negative stuff, but like if any of you are here and you don't really know about the stuff that happened like last year, like, you know, I don't want you guys to, but they treated Allison very badly. Mia Wallace as well. Patty, of course. Just a lot of drama around the stuff, but the videos are really funny. I'm like, which one was the one with the hose? We got some hose in this house, we got some hose. Oh, here it is. I'm going to play this one real quick because this one's funny. I did not even know that there was a song that was like this.
Hey there, we have hose in the house. That's Dwayne's house. We have small, medium, and large hose to fit your need. We rent, lease, and sell hose, so come on over because we have hose in the house.
Oh, geez.
I learned something new today, but it might be a secret, but I'll tell you anyway. Jail sucks and it's filled with criminals. No way, I can't believe it. Shocking, I know. But apparently Donna Adelson thought she was going to the Four Seasons. Hey, you know what they say?
Get what you fucking deserve!
This whole thing started when she masterminded a murder for hire and put Dan Markel in a grave in 2014. Then laughed about it. All because Dan wanted the experience of being a father to his kids. But Donna's needs to be a grandmother was more important than him, and traveling from Miami to Tallahassee to visit was an inconvenience.
Oh, real quick, I want to, just because this is a really great map, and I'm so sorry to interrupt Jibbs's video, but I don't know. Can you guys see my cursor when I'm doing this? Okay, so this green is Miami, I-95, and then you get on the turnpike and then go up to Orlando, take the turnpike over to I-75, I-75 up to I-10, west to Tallahassee. So this right here, instead of going toward Orlando, you can continue on I-75 south to Tampa, go 75 all the way down here to Naples, which is Collier County, and then do a direct eastbound over to Miami. So I don't know exactly which route Sigfredo and Luis took after they left Tallahassee. And I know that they were on that, they were caught on camera at an ATM in Pembroke Pines, which is, I believe, is West Palm Beach County. I could be wrong, and I apologize. I'm just not, I'm very familiar with North Florida. I'm very familiar with Orlando and even like the Tampa area, but pretty much like Miami. I'm even familiar with the Keys, but like Miami, I'm not really familiar with Miami area. I mean, I vacationed in Fort Lauderdale and things like that, but yeah, I try to stay away from Miami.
Now she finds herself on trial and likely going to prison. Currently, Donna is housed in the Leon County Detention Facility in Tallahassee, Florida. It's kind of like the Four Seasons, right?
What?
Donna's lawyers filed 2 motions. We will start with the first. What I call jail sucks. Please let me out on bond motion. Donna testified about the horrible jail conditions, which basically amounted to earwax, a bad mattress, and too many carbs in her diet. She also mentioned an incident of battery and of extortion. Not once was she able to squeeze out a tear for such a traumatic event. I'm honestly skeptical about her story. The language seemed scripted, made more for a cheesy Hollywood movie or TV show. To me, it doesn't sound like the dialect commonly used by inmates. And this is what she had to say. The first incident occurred in the annex shower. Donna said there are 7 shower heads, and she takes the same one in the corner because it gives her more privacy. Donna showers very early in the morning since it's usually empty. As Donna begins to explain, she visibly began shaking. She said, she felt a hand go from the top of her butt up her back and yelled, "Stop it!" And she turned around. The inmate said, "Did you like it?" Donna told the inmate, "Get out of here," and started to scream, and the inmate ran off. Donna said there are no custody officers near the shower, so no one heard her screaming. I find that unusual because Donna stated she showered early in the morning when no other inmates are there. I would assume the inmates are sleeping, so the area would be silent. A screaming woman would be easy to hear by custody officers and inmates. It's only my opinion. I wasn't there, and it could have happened. The second incident occurred in October. According to Donna, she was brushing her teeth when all of a sudden an inmate came up from behind her. The inmate grabbed Donna's left hand and twisted her arm behind her back and jerked the arm upwards towards the neck. Donna asked the inmate, "What are you doing?" And the inmate said, "You are going to buy me commissary." Donna said, "What?" And the inmate said, "Unless you want those pretty white teeth knocked out of your mouth, you're going to buy me commissary." Since Donna is a flight risk, she had to explain the attempted getaway to Vietnam so she can be released on bond.
Vietnam because you wouldn't be able to be extradited from there.
So my husband actually had said, you know, we've been to Vietnam before. We with friends, we were on vacation, and it really was like a place of peace. And so he said, if we go to a non-extradition country, then if the law enforcement decided that they wanted to arrest you or me, whatever, both, he said, we won't be sitting in a foreign prison waiting months to go back. We could buy a ticket and we can go home. And my understanding was that I could go home and I could turn myself in if that's what they wanted.
Sure, Jan.
How many of you believe Donna and Harvey would come home to be arrested?
She's as truthful as I am.
Right.
The second motion. Donna's attorneys argued to throw out potential key evidence in the case, namely a jailhouse phone call with her son, Charlie, where she talked about possibly killing herself or fleeing overseas to a non-extradition country. Stating Donna hung up the phone, and it was a privacy issue for the jail to continue recording. I think Donna is delusional and unable to see the mountain of evidence against her. I bet she is wondering why the state is unjustly targeting her. It wouldn't surprise me if she's blaming the Markels for it. But that's common for a person with a sense of entitlement.
Oops, sorry. Okay, where's Jeopardy? Jeopardy's okay.
Our first contestant is Caddy Cook Lady. Tell us a little about yourself.
I'm Caddy Cook Lady. When I started my channel, it was for the purpose of sipping wine and for letting you know who I know. By the way, I'm friends with Ruth Markel, just in case I haven't said that on my channel. If you say anything that is contradicting to my view, I will get triggered and send you to detention. But first, please contribute to my coffee.
Okay, thank you, Caddy. Our second contestant is Patty Snitches. Tell us a little about yourself.
I'm Patty Snitches on the bitches. Don't do anything in front of me, bitch, because I'll snitch anytime, any place, anywhere.
I can attest to that.
Okay. That's great, Patty. Thank you. Our third contestant behind the screen is Beachy Fiction. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
I'm Beachy Fiction. I was the first to report on the Markel case, and I have a lot of haters.
Okay. Right, lots of haters. Ain't that something? Thank you for that, Beachy. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't see your $40 friend of Ruth Markel t-shirt. Thank you, Caddy Cook Lady. Anyway, these are the 3 YouTuber contestants on tonight's game. The categories are alcoholic drinks, circle of trust, crime, Dan Markel murder, hurricane. Beachy Fiction, we will start with your choice of category.
Dan Markel murder for 400.
Name the investigator who interviewed Dan Markel's ex-wife.
Who is Beachy Fiction? That is right, haters. I'm the original OG. You best kiss the ring.
Sorry, Beachy Fiction, but that is not the correct answer.
You are wrong. You are a hater too, just like all the other circus freaks that don't recognize that I'm the OG investigator. And I have all the informants from Miami to Austin, Texas, because I am Beachy Fiction.
Okay, nice try. Thank you, Beachy. I see how the question might be confusing. I will be more specific with our questions. Patty, you are next. For 400, who was the Tallahassee homicide police investigator who interviewed Dan Markel's ex-wife?
Who is? Detective Craig Isom.
Brown noser.
Beachy is my friend, and she is always right.
Why don't you kiss my ass?
I didn't do anything. I'm the victim. I don't know why you are attacking me. The OG investigator of the Dan Markel case.
Bitch, are you crazy?
Ladies! Patty, stop!
Beachy, did you do something different to your hair?
Okay, I am going to. So, hang on. I want to. Yeah, Max. I mean, I remember. It's so funny. I remember during that hearing when she said, "Well, my husband." Like she starts off the answer with her was Harvey's idea. Okay, let's see what Happy 24/7 is saying. That is a really cute name too. My understanding, so Heifer, not one of your high-paid folks, also chimed in that it would be considered consciousness of guilt. No, consciousness of guilt did not cross her mind. Yes. Oh, I'm glad you brought this up, Happy 24/7, because you guys, if you look at that at the live stream and the moments like when she's laughing, I believe Judy at AA Legal Focus, she did a short on it, and I don't know if you can you change the speed on a short? I don't know if you can or not, but I was looking at it on like my big PC, like the home computer. And I say big PC because I guess it's like my biggest screen. So that's why I'm saying big PC. But if you watch Donna in 0.5 speed, it is haunting. I don't know. I don't know if Jibbs is working on anything in regards to the case. Okay, I'll play the Christmas one. No, I'm trying to remember which ones they were. Is that the January, like the called it? Oh, the necklace the night before. This is. Well, hang on, real quick. Let me make this.
Welcome to Turban Time with Christmas Wine. I am your host, Caddy. My husband is upstairs sleeping, and I'm trying to set up my Christmas tree quietly before he wakes up. Most importantly, I want to share a beautiful book with one of my favorite poems with you, and to show there are no hard feelings. Mr. Beasley and I want to leave a large Yule log right at the doorstep of each of my critics. The book is written by the very talented, elegant.
So, real quick, John Smith, aren't you Elegant Hurry 6400, who wrote this initial poem? Yes, that's what I thought. I thought so. So yeah, this is one of John. This is like one of John's poems. I don't know if it's one of the first ones that he did for the case, but yeah, this is from this poem. This is Jibs and Jabs video, but this poem is by John Smith, who is Elegant Hurry 6400, I think on Reddit.
Welcome to Turban Time with Christmas Wine. I am your host, Caddy. My husband is upstairs sleeping, and I'm trying to set up my Christmas tree quietly before he wakes up. Most importantly, I want to share a beautiful book with one of my favorite poems with you, and to show there are no hard feelings. Mr. Beasley and I want to leave a large Yule log right at the doorstep of each of my critics. The book is written by the very talented Elegant Hurry 6400, a true master at poetry, and it's published by Reddit. Thank you, Elegant Hurry 6400. Your words bring joy and laughter. So let's get started.
It was the night before Christmas. We had just settled down when out of the night came a horrible sound. I ran to the door, and there on the lawn was a car with wipers and headlights still on. I opened the door and said, "Lady, are you hurt?" She was covered with candy, flowers, and dirt. She said,
No, I'm fine. Just a bit of bad luck. Would you be so kind and call a tow truck?
When she got out of the car, I couldn't believe what I saw. She was wearing a turban, bathrobe, and shawl. I took her inside to warm up while we waited.
I have good insurance and I'm rich.
She stated. She stumbled and mumbled and then started dancing and said,
I should be in Florida having Christmas with Jensen.
She sat down again and then became chatty, then mumbled.
Arlene, then Debbie, then Patty.
She said,
We did nothing wrong. Not us three, not SP, not Fancy, not me.
Suddenly she turned and said with a scowl,
I'd be in Florida right now if not for that owl.
The truck hooked up her car as it was snowing, came to the door and said,
Lady, we've got to get going.
As she stumbled to the truck, she said not a word. She turned back to me and shot me the bird. The moral of the story is perfectly clear. As we celebrate Christmas together this year, if you're going to drive, please don't be reckless. And whatever you do, don't throw away that necklace.
Well, Jibs thanks like everyone. This is probably all of her subscribers at the time. So, okay, happy 24/7. Well, okay, Kristen said something a while ago. Sorry, trying to keep up with the chat. But, where are you, Kristen? Yes. Kristen said, like, why would you think that the law was coming for you? Yeah, Donna, why would you think so? It's like, that's just like not normal thinking. Yeah, she was, she was so inappropriate. But I don't know if Donna is really going to testify. I kind of feel like she's not in the end, but that's just my own opinion. But goodness gracious, are we going to have so much? I feel like I'm going to have a good time to watch her testify. She is not going to be able to save face. It's going to be messy. But she's probably going to think that she did well, no matter what happens. I just have a feeling that she's going to lose it. Yeah, we do need to okay, let's do one. Let's see. Let's do this one. I love this one. This one with the bear in the back. Talking about like not paying attention to danger.
That was my 7 a.m. alarm. You won't believe this. A little over a year ago, I set my alarm at 7 a.m. as a reminder to pick up RM and take the person to the airport so she could fly back home to another country north of Florida. Don't ask me who it is because mum's the word. I'm not a name dropper, like some YouTubers I've seen. Those type of people are shameless. Anyhow, ever since that glorious day, I have never changed the reminder on the 7 a.m. alarm. So every time I have an appointment at 7 a.m., it will be forever designated to my very good and close friend, RM. Isn't that touching? I also like sending her cutesy text, reminding her that her bestie, me of course, picked her up at 7 a.m. and drove her to the airport. Hang on a second, I'm texting RM. Hey, I'm picking you up tomorrow at 7 a.m. and we are going to get a new haircut and hairdo. Isn't that hilarious?
Stop it. Get some help.
Oh, she got right back to me. That's great. Me too. I don't know if I've mentioned to y'all, but she really cares about me. And she is helping me publish the book I've been writing for the past 30 years. Speaking about the book, be ready for Santa Claus to bring you a gift for 2025. But for now, I'm giving y'all a little peek where the magic happens and sharing one page of my upcoming and soon-to-be best-selling crime and makeup book. Tomorrow, I want you to come along on a ride with me and Mr. Beasley for my hair appointment. For now, we can spend time here reminiscing about the good old days, the days of 3-hour live coffee talk about my trauma, my drama, the trauma of drama, and poems. Those were the days before the owl, when my detention center were full of unruly, toxic subscribers. One day, I'll be back on live. The one good thing about taking a break from my daily live chats is that now I'm more aware of my surroundings. Because danger can be lurking around every corner. But some people are consumed with themselves that they can't see what's ready to devour them. Can you believe that? I don't have to worry about that. I have eyes in the back of my head. Ouch, Mr. Beasley. Why are you biting me? Do you need a little shock? Sir, I'm trying to make a video here. Why are you shaking? I'll just have to put you in your detention crate. Hold on, everyone. I'll be right back. The shock collar is working fantastic for Mr. Beasley. He is so quiet now. This is the first time he has acted up in weeks. I don't know why he was shaking. I'm thinking he was cold, which is weird because the heater is on. He is probably being dramatic. As I was saying before Mr. Beasley over there started being a weirdo, I do plan to come back and I will be reopening my chat room. I want y'all to understand that I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for you and the thousands of people who have emailed begging for me to return to my channel. But I can only come back when the time is right for me and people's memories have faded. So far, I'm shooting for June 16th, so anyone who wants to fund my trip to Tallahassee for the Wendi Adelson trial can buy me a drinkity drink. Speaking of drinkity drinks, I have a new idea for January. Lastly, I'll be reading a poem about insanity by Maya Anthony, but I added my own little twist. So let's get started. In the mind's deep shadow halls, where squirrels bounce from unseen walls with thoughts that run wild, unconfined through the maze of a scrambled mind. Words whisper, shout, and intertwine, a symphony of words that will end in infamy, an endless chase in the head of an empty space, for the mind of the twisted. I wonder why that poem was recommended to me. Any ideas?
So this one is the very first video.
There's smoke in the house, smoke in the house. And everyone's running, everyone's talking. You throw a smoke grenade, what do you think? Listen, run out. There's smoke in the house, smoke in the house.
That was a recording of the surveillance where he's talking about like how the cops throw a grenade. Like he's basically explaining what the bump was.
Run out. There's smoke in the house, smoke in the house. And everyone's running, everyone's talking.
Look, and Wendi was running off with the money. But yeah, I think that's the recording where he's telling Katie McBanoa, like they throw a grenade, smoke in the house, and then everybody runs. But that's exactly what the bump accomplished. right? The bump is the grenade, and then they all ran and just started yapping.
Ray, what do you think? Listen, just run out. There's smoke in the house. Smoke in the house.
This is a funny one. The
A
moldy
special
money.
thank you to my subscribers and friends. Skytroop, Mrs. Skytroop, Crime and Coffee, Tattletales, and True Crime Wifey. If you are not a subscriber, please consider subscribing out of pity. Just kidding. Please feel free to leave a comment. And
Oh, I didn't mean to stop it. Sorry. So yeah, Jibs was like learning how to do all of this stuff so you can like kind of see how they progressed over time with working on the videos. So, okay, I want to answer a few questions. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I accidentally revealed that several times. I did it a while ago on a live, but they told me to leave my live up because I'd taken it down. And I believe I've revealed it as well, Allison, on this live a couple times. Let me see. I saw something. Oh, someone asked a question. Okay, Max, I mean, I think that listen, I mean, I would never be a defendant in a murder case, but I'm just saying, like, I would, that's not me, but I don't think it's not a bad idea. If you're a defendant and you got the cash, that's not a bad idea. I'm not trying to give any other murderers ideas, but yeah, it's not a bad idea. Because what they're going to watch for is they're going to watch for anything and everything that can be argued or a discrepancy in something. And you guys listen. So, I mean, the police detectives, like, they're human, right? Like, they don't actually do every single thing in an investigation perfectly. And nothing, as far as I'm concerned, they did a very good job. I do like Craig Isom. The only thing Craig Isom had Wendi there for 5 hours, had her talking. And how much do we see not only about her narcissism, her disparaging of Dan Markel, how she totally hates him. Like, she can't even, even on the stand, when they're like, I forget who it was that asked and said, like, isn't he a good father? I think it was DeCoste, like Christopher DeCoste, however you say his name. And she was like, yeah, he loved his job. Like she can't even hide her hatred. But my point is that my only thing about Craig Isom, I wish he would have never told Wendi in the beginning that Dan wasn't going to make it. Because I think that he would have had her there and she would have just been losing her shit. Nah. Sorry. Sorry. Well, that person's so Jib said to me, like, think about it. Okay, I use the moniker True Crime Wifey. So what does that tell people? Like, why I'm calling myself wifey? That's like, like that's almost like kind of like a dedication to my husband. Yeah, I mean, and we're coming up on 25 years. Like, we got married during an Al Gore George Bush decision date in at the Leon County Courthouse. We had to dodge CNN to get to the chapel. So Jib said, if people were to think about it, if you just think about, I call myself True Crime Wifey. Does that mean? Never mind. I'm kind of putting I'm a Sagittarius. We put our foot in our mouths all the time. But I don't know if, I like to keep that Jib's, their biological sex a secret, but they told me that if people were to really think about it, like, would someone named Wifey like have a relationship with another man? And what I mean is like a friendship, a camaraderie. Okay, I've said enough. Yeah, Max, I've always been told that Sagittarius are the best people. But yeah, Sagittarius are known to put their foot in their mouth. Yeah. And I'm based on the Chinese zodiac. Like, I'm also a fire dragon. Hi, Leslie. So the very first time I ever went live, I did it on a phone. And I had my finger over my camera because I didn't know how to turn it off. And I don't really want to show, but you guys, Leslie and Jibs and another lady named Irene, they were the only three on my very first live. And Leslie has been popping out the content. Leslie has been doing a lot of videos. I know, Leslie. Thank you so much. Oh, can you guys hear the frogs in the background? Yeah, we have a lot of bullfrogs. Oh, True Crime in a minute. Hold on. I will post her link. Yeah, where is Leslie? Here she is. Let me copy. Oops. Okay, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to use the mouse. That's like a part of your laptop. Well, it's not that I don't know. Well, no, yes, I do. I don't know how to use it. However, it doesn't seem. Here is the link to Leslie's channel. Yeah, I have a lot of birds of prey in my neighborhood as well. And like I kind of wish that some of the owls would come out and start hooting and hollering. And we also hear, I don't know if any of you guys live like near like coyotes, but we hear like coyotes every once in a while, and you can tell when like they've captured something or they have gotten something, because they start with a woo woo. They start with like the howling, and then it like gets into this high pitched laughing hyena celebration. It's crazy. And not only do we have like coyotes around here, we also have like the red wolves. Like I guess like they originate from Mississippi, but they're like a breed. But they're basically a cross between like a hybrid of a coyote and a wolf. And the Tallahassee Museum, which is essentially, people used to call it the Junior Museum, but it's called the Tallahassee Museum. But it's really almost like nature-y. Like they have panthers there. Sometimes they'll have like a visiting animal. Like they had an Amur leopard, like a very rare Amur leopard. That cat was very cool. But where was I going with that? I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Oh, the owls. I'm sorry. The Tallahassee Museum, they also have red wolves. And I remember when, like many years ago, well, it's been over a decade ago, when they first had like red wolf puppies. It's very cool. Yes, I can do that, Allison. And then I'm probably gonna go after that. I've been on for almost 3.5 hours, but I'm just really tired today too. Let me pull it up. And I'm gonna, okay, I'm still, oh, good. I'm still sharing that. Now I'm like learning a little bit. I'm gonna play the series. So I'll start, there's part 3. I think that this is part 1. Okay.
San Francisco. For most of us, it brings back memories of cable cars, golden sunsets, and unforgettable vacations. But for Allison Galvani, it's something entirely different. It's the place where her mother, Nancy Galvani, was taken from her forever. In the summer of 1982, Nancy Galvani was going through a divorce. She was separated from her husband and trying to start fresh. But just 1 month after that separation, Nancy's body was found floating in San Francisco Bay. Allison was only 5 years old, too young to fully understand, but old enough to remember what she saw and what she heard. There were eyewitness reports, there was evidence, there was Allison's voice, trying to tell anyone who would listen. But more than 40 years later, no one has been prosecuted. What really happened to Nancy Galvani? Who did this? Why was her story buried? And will Allison ever see justice for her mom? If you believe Nancy's story deserves to be heard, share this video. Let's bring attention back to a case that's been ignored for far too long. Justice for Nancy. San Francisco. For most of us, it brings back.
It's great. You know, like I like start tearing up. Okay, let me find the second one. Okay, one. Oh. So this is part, okay, wait, okay, here's part 2. Here we go. This is part 2. This is Leslie B's True Crime and Men short in regards to the murder of Nancy Galvani, who is Allison Galvani's mom, my father's alibi.
Patrick and Nancy Galvani married in 1973. They lived in the Pacific Heights neighborhood of San Francisco, and they had one daughter, Allison. By 1982, Nancy was filing for divorce. Nancy kept a diary. She detailed the abuse. She told friends she was scared. Her daughter, Allison, she saw it too. Patrick once told Nancy, quote, "I'll kill you before you get custody of Allison." And just months later, Nancy was found in the San Francisco Bay near the San Mateo Bridge. On August 8, 1982, Nancy left to pick up her daughter Allison from Patrick's house. She never came back. Patrick made other plans for Allison. Instead of giving Allison to Nancy, he sent her to his uncle's house. Nancy's body was found the next day in San Francisco Bay, strangled, wrapped in a sleeping bag, a cinder block tied to her waist. Patrick and Nancy Galvani married in 1973. They lived.
Okay, that was part 2. Here's part 3.
Patrick never reported her missing. Not Sunday, not Monday, not even Tuesday. It wasn't until Friday, after pressure from Nancy's friends, that he finally filed a report. Nancy deserved to live. Allison deserved a mother. And Patrick Galvani, he was charged 2 days after he reported Nancy missing. But months later, all the charges were dropped. Remember when Allison's dad, Patrick, sent Allison to his uncle's home? His uncle's name is Pat. And guess what? Allison did not call her dad, Dad. She called him Patrick. That's what her dad preferred. So when the police interviewed 5-year-old Allison, they asked her, where was she the night her mom disappeared? She said with Pat. Was she her father's alibi? 42 years later, justice for Nancy. Patrick.
And Allison, I'm just realizing, I mean, I know it's already after midnight and it's now, essentially August 10th. But yesterday was Friday, right? It's Saturday. But Friday, the 8th, was the anniversary. 43 years ago. Okay, hang on. I'm going to get to the next one. Oh, sorry. Here's part 4.
Imagine being 5 years old and having your mother taken from you. Imagine being almost 50 years old and still not seeing the person who took her from you prosecuted. Imagine thinking the person who took your mother from you was your own father. In June of 1982, 5-year-old Allison Galvani had just graduated kindergarten. And to celebrate, Allison's mom took her to the musical Annie in the San Francisco theater. After the show, the celebration of her graduation continued. Mom and Allison headed to Golden Gate Park for a picnic. They laid out a green sleeping bag to sit on for the picnic, and Allison played with her Annie doll. The sleeping bag is one that Allison would never forget. Will you help seek justice for Nancy? Please email Stephen Wagstaff, the DA, as well as the Chief Deputy, Shen Mi Chang. This case is getting attention. We need to continue to push and fight for justice for Nancy. Help Allison through this. Anyone can write the DA or the Chief Deputy. You do not need to be a resident of California. Justice for Nancy. Imagine being 5 years. Nancy had just filed for divorce and left her husband Patrick. He stayed in their upscale Pacific Heights home. Nancy wanted to escape the abuse, and she moved to a residential-style hotel in San Francisco. Nancy and Patrick split custody of Allison 50-50. Nancy's diary detailed the abuse. And here's Allison as an adult, remembering what she heard.
So yeah, I heard my parents fighting, and I remember thinking like, this is worse than normal. And I ran into my parents' bedroom. My mother was lying on the bed. My father was like straddling her.
Will you help seek justice for Nancy? Please email Stephen Wagstaff, the DA, as well as the Chief Deputy, Shen Mi Chang. This case is getting attention. We need to continue to push and fight for justice for Nancy. Help Allison through this. Anyone can write the DA or the Chief Deputy. You do not need to be a resident of California. Justice for Nancy. Nancy had just...
His knees were like pinning down her arms, and there's this large square Laura Ashley pillow, and he was pressing it over her face, and I was then begging him to stop doing that.
About 2 months after that kindergarten graduation celebration, Nancy had left her residential-style hotel and told her friends she was going to pick up Allison on a Sunday evening instead of Monday morning. But Patrick had sent Allison away to his uncle's home. Will you help seek justice for Nancy? Please email Stephen Wagstaff, the DA, as well as the Chief Deputy, Shen Mi Chang. This case is getting attention. We need to continue to push and fight for justice for Nancy. Help Allison through this. Anyone can write the DA or the Chief Deputy. You do not need to be a resident of California. Justice for Nancy.
His knees were...
Patrick denies ever seeing Nancy, and the next day, Nancy's body was found in San Francisco Bay. Her body was inside a sleeping bag. There was a rope tied around her waist with a cinder block attached to it. The autopsy showed Nancy died from strangulation. The place where her body was recovered was San Mateo County, in an area known as Foster City. The same sleeping bag from the sweet kindergarten graduation picnic now held Nancy's lifeless body. Will you help seek justice for Nancy? Please email Stephen Wagstaff, the DA, as well as the Chief Deputy, Shen Mi Chang. This case is getting attention. We need to continue to push and fight for justice for Nancy. Help Allison through this. Anyone can write the DA or the Chief Deputy. You do not need to be a resident of California. Justice for Nancy. Patrick denied. When the detectives interviewed 5-year-old Allison, they showed her a picture of the sleeping bag, and she identified it. It was the same one they sat on in the picnic, and she remembered that sleeping bag being in the trunk of her mom's car. Witnesses even reported Nancy's car being in the vicinity in another home that Patrick owned but was rented out. Allison remembers waiting, hoping. Every time a car drove by, she ran to the window, thinking it might be her mom, but it never was. Will you help seek justice for Nancy? Please email Stephen Wagstaff, the DA, as well as the Chief Deputy, Shen Mi Chang. This case is getting attention. We need to continue to push and fight for justice for Nancy. Help Allison through this. Anyone can write the DA or the chief deputy. You do not need to be a resident of California. Justice for Nancy.
Leslie, I really like how you've put all that together. Like all of the can you create a playlist with shorts? I'm just asking. I have no clue. I'm obviously not skilled on YouTube, but like making a playlist with all of those. Oh, I love how it's like you're building the story as you're going through. You're doing a really great job. I know, like Allison, like we're at the anniversary. Allison, I don't think I can read Sarah's letter. Like I'm not gonna make it through it. Do you want to email it to me? Then I have to figure out how to get my how to pull an email from here. But I mean, I could figure it out. Oh, hang on. Let me make sure I'm not sharing. Hold on. Okay. I'm trying to open my Gmail because I do not check this Gmail very often. I'll read Sarah's letter if you want to email it to me, Allison. Or show it or whatever you want me to do. I mean, Alice, I mean, well, and I've shared this before. One of the reasons why it, just spilled my coffee. Okay. One reason why, like the Dan Markel murder hits home to me, and like there's several. I mean, I probably have about 10 reasons, but one of them is, I mean, my father passed away. My sister and I are 11 months apart. My father passed away when we had just turned 4 and 5. And he died of cancer. Okay, he was 32 years old, colon cancer. And within like 2 years of that, maybe 2.5 years, my mom uprooted us from our home state and we moved to Florida. Like she got remarried and we moved to Florida. And she uprooted us from our maternal and paternal family. And she didn't do it like out of like vindictiveness or anything. It was just, I think it was just too hard for her to be, be in the area. And we still maintained a relationship with our paternal grandparents. But another thing is like when I first moved to Tallahassee, like it takes, okay, like I grew up in Orlando area. I lived in Tampa for 5 years, and then I came up here, and Tallahassee is different than the rest of Florida. It took me about 2 years to acclimate. Like things are closed on Sunday. Like I didn't understand how people got their dry cleaning done. I mean, just little simple things. Like, Tallahassee is slow moving in regards to other areas of the state. So not that I empathized with Wendi or whatever, but I definitely kind of understood, like, being in a place that I did not like for a while. Okay, I am going to read Sarah Galvani Townsend letter. And as soon as I'm done with that, then I will be ending the live stream. And I'm not going to pull it up, but I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to pull it up because I don't know if like all of my emails and stuff are going to show. I just don't know how to do any of that. So forgive me, Allison. But I'm going to read this. Oof, my glasses are a little bit foggy. Okay. Dear District Attorney Wagstaff, my name is Sarah Galvani Townsend. I'm 18 years old. Okay, I'm already losing it. Okay. Woo. I'm 18 years old and about to begin my first year at Yale University, an opportunity I consider a tremendous privilege. But as I prepare for this new chapter in my life, I can't help but feel the weight of someone who is missing. My grandmother, Nancy Galvani, was a kind, funny, and deeply compassionate woman. She was murdered when my mother was just 5 years old, and as a result, I never had the chance to meet her. Her absence has been present at every milestone of my life. I think of her often at birthdays, holidays, award ceremonies, and on quiet days when I simply wish I could know her. I wish she had been there to comfort my mom through her hardest moments and to witness her grandchildren grow up. My 16-year-old brother, my 14-year-old sister, and I have missed out on the love and presence of someone who should have been a guiding figure in our lives. I'm writing to ask that your office give further attention to her case. I understand that resources are limited and that many cases cross your desk. But I ask you, sincerely and respectfully, a woman's life was taken. Her car was found in her ex-husband's garage and the murder instruments missing from his truck. From its trunk. Ugh. Sorry, I can't even see. Okay, I gotta clean my glasses for a second. I'm sorry. They're fogging. Okay. Nancy Galvani was a mother, a daughter, and she could have been a grandmother. This case is about honoring her life and ensuring that violence like this is never quietly forgotten. Please do whatever is within your power to pursue justice. Sadly, but without doubt, there is overwhelming evidence against her estranged husband. My grandmother deserves an attempt from your office to bring accountability. Her name deserves to be spoken. Her story deserves to be heard, and her family deserves to know that her life has not been dismissed or ignored. Thank you for your time and your service. I would be grateful for the opportunity to speak further if that would be helpful in any way. Sincerely, Sarah Galvani Townsend. I'm sorry, everyone. I hope I did it a little justice. I don't. Well, okay. Thank you. Thank you everyone for being on here tonight. It's been 3 hours and 45 minutes. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to compose myself. Like Allison, when you read that the other day, and I mean, I was bawling. So, okay, good night, everyone. Thank you for being here on the True Crime Wifey channel. I appreciate it. Yes, justice for Nancy Galvani. And what's brought us all together is justice for Dan Markel. I will see you all soon, whether it's on this channel or another channel in chats. Good night.